This is a production of Darn TV.
I've been there. Hey, jamming. You had this going on too long. Kind of got an ice cream headache there.
Yeah. Well, we're 12 minutes late, but as per my post last night that we kind of got beat up on just a little bit, or I did.
Yeah.
You know.
I didn't go back to it. I don't know. Yeah.
People didn't know what to do with their Wednesday night because I put the post out. You always said, we got to put the post out.
Yeah, well, that's what they say, so.
You know, we're not going to be live. We're here on Thursday.
Rescheduled.
And that's better anyway, because Thursday is like, that's the prime spot. That's when Cheers was on, Seinfeld, you know.
Where everybody knows your name. Da-da-da-da-da-da. Yeah. They have a whole channel on, I think, Amazon Prime or Amazon dedicated to Cheers. It just plays all the Cheers episodes over and over, so you can click in anytime and just watch Cheers.
Cheers
I think you might relate to that theme song. Sometimes you want to go where nobody knows your name.
Where is that place? I think that's where Hot Sauce is right now.
Yeah. What is that crap, him sending us that in the group text?
Well, on Snap, it looked like he was in a hot dog contest. A 9 and 9, whatever that meant. So,
well, welcome to the Dirt Weekly Thursday night edition. Random dirt, random nights.
Yeah.
Random times.
Got to work around the weather.
Is it the weather?
It's the jobs.
It's the jobs. We were just joking about it. Why do our day jobs get in the way of our fun times at night?
Yeah, apparently they're
and
evening
weekends.
jobs too, so it was close.
Brandon Beater, Jordan Boyce, Craig Heupel all in the house. Still an empty chair here. Small City was going to be here and then bailed on us.
The threat was high, but here we are.
I think he found more white paint.
Yeah.
Or yellow paint or
he was on
orange
wheels
paint
last
or red
week,
paint. Or
yeah, good on him. He wants it to look right, and that takes an effort. So
big show Sunday night, World of Outlaw Late Models in town. I think they got canceled at Fergus Falls tonight.
We're trying to still figure that out.
The Dirt Vision site is not loading the video, so that means it's not going.
So that technically would be good for us if they did get rained out, because then they'd be more eager to play, more people.
Yeah, to follow them? Yeah.
I would like to say yes, but I think it's far enough away.
We might not overlap.
Right.
No.
Here it is. Due to continuing rain moving through, the I-94 EMR Speedway show has been canceled.
Canceled, huh?
Dang it.
They're not even going to do it later then.
Maggie, photographer, hi.
Hey.
Zach Heiderbring, 1 week. We'll see you.
Yeah.
Things are getting real.
Bread and water, as Dilly Bar says. Bread and water.
It's no joke. You
that
sit
might
there,
not be the same thing.
It is crazy. We went to that scheduling meeting, and we talked about it. You and I went to an officials meeting down in Mandan, and we talked about the schedules and like when things ramp up, and we talked about it on this show. And we jokingly said Memorial Day weekend was like when you hit Memorial Day weekend, things just shoom.
Yeah.
And we are in the middle of it right now.
We're on a rocket ride, man. There is just everything is going on.
Last weekend was kind of a light weekend. We only had, with Mandan raining out on Friday, we only had Estevan and Minot. It was kind of like, able to take a breath just a little bit. Now we roll into 2 days in Williston, a night in Minot, and then we come back 5 days later, and it's July 3rd in Underwood, and then it's July 4th.
4th in Minot.
Well, July 3rd starts 8 in a row for me.
8 in a row, yeah. Yeah, because we've got 2 nights that aren't the tour, and then the rest are. Yeah. Hoofda.
With the new acquisition at your company going on, no big deal.
Let alone your day jobs changing names.
I go to bed on June 30th working for Select, and I wake up July 1st working for Wisco.
Oh, by the way, guys, I'm going to go racing for 8 days.
Is that okay?
They didn't say no, but they also looked
at me. Didn't say anything.
Yeah, they looked at me with a really funny look going, you mean to tell me you're going to
disappear
we're going to
for
do
a
all
week?
this and you're going to leave for a week? I said, actually, it's more than a week, just to clarify. I mean, it's like almost 11 days when you get down to it.
I mean, the oil's been in the ground for hundreds of years already.
Yeah.
It'll
be there next week, too. Not so funny in that room, huh? Pretty funny here.
No, hopefully it all goes good. We've done a lot of pre-work, but I got a bunch of good guys that are going to be handling things, and I'm always available via phone. And it's not like I'm leaving the country.
No.
Yeah, you are.
Well, I am on night 3.
Monday.
Night 3, I am leaving. Dickinson races this weekend as well. I won't be able to make it, Maggie. I'll be in Williston, obviously.
A lot of excitement for that.
Yep.
Bent Fast Cole Henshaw is going, so checked in with him. He's heading down there, so I'm sure others are too.
Talk about a buzzkill. Opening night for Dickinson was supposed to be last Saturday night, right?
I think opening night was supposed to be in May.
Yeah, I think we're back in May.
You got to go all the way back to May for opening night.
But then
I know where you're going.
They get a tornado. Maybe we can get this
We interrupt this schedule with a tornado. Well, that'll do it. Yeah. Well, this is their opener then.
Yeah. Well, other than Tougher Than Dirt Tour, this is their opener.
Guess we did, yeah,
I like to think I'm a hardy race fan, but I don't know.
But Mother Nature tried to rain on their Tougher Than Dirt Tour night as well.
Yeah, you actually did have a
We
delay.
actually did have rain.
Yeah. In a place that never rains.
Yeah.
The desert Southwest.
It's
kind of like a wind out of the east.
But is Mandan much better right now with all their cancellations, and now they have heavy storm warning tomorrow?
For 3 days they've been hammering. They got level 2 pay attention stuff. Things last week can be a replay here, weather-wise, so could be interesting even on the Williston thinking. So it's June in North Dakota.
Well, last weekend, we'll start with the recap. Driver chat, just imagine it's not there. I did not set up any drivers. I have not had time to set up any drivers. My apologies to everybody out there in the world.
Throwback to the way we used to do it.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
We'll get through it.
I didn't even bring the phone over. The phone ain't even hooked up, so don't even try to call anybody. It's right here, see?
Well, take a break, Haskar.
I ain't worried about Haskar. He don't have the number, but I can see my brother being he told me earlier on the phone, he goes, I'm going to call in tonight and just pester you.
Yeah, he's supposed to go to Fargo this morning. He should still be there, maybe.
Well, he's home already.
Yeah, he's back, huh?
He got up and went early. We had only thing we had racing last weekend was Estevan Motor Speedway. Everything else got canceled.
And Minot.
And Minot on Sunday. So we'll get started up in Estevan.
Yeah, of course, Dakota Speedway, they were dealing with the same weather situations, I'm sure.
That Dickinson was.
Yeah.
And then Fargo, the all I-94.
I was just going to say I-94. It was just tornado lane there, and or at least high winds, triple-digit winds. And
Jesse, trust me when I say it is on my to-do list, but every waking moment is work right now, and not racetrack work. He wants to know when payouts and contingencies. Well, we've already been making payouts. I mean, if you didn't finish top 5 in points, you didn't get a payout, which we still have some we have to hand out. We will be finding people, but we've already started handing out the payouts. The contingency stuff, I haven't even started on it. I'll be real with you. It's like the last thing on my mind. I know I got to get on that, but
careful, he's a little punchy tonight.
Is he reflecting on the
Tougher Than Dirt Tour contingencies and payouts?
Stuff takes a while.
Yep. I'll get there. You know what it's like to lose a vehicle at work. You got in an accident. You had to scramble. Well, I'm not losing a vehicle. I am gaining a bunch
of vehicles.
Work is so blah, it's race season. I agree, Jesse. 1,000%. Estevan Motor Speedway, last Saturday night, you were able to make the trip up there, as was I.
Yeah. Started to rain all day long. So they held off on watering the track, and then they went and watered the track, and then it rained a little bit. So I think they were a little bit late, but not too bad. But
yeah, not too bad. They got all the cars out there, didn't they, to pack it in?
Yeah. And we all hopped out there and did our deal, and I think all said and done. I think it's still done at 10 o'clock. So
I know my daughter was singing that song. Was it Dirt Track Thing? Have you heard that song? She was, because they came over the radio, or they came over the pit speakers and said, all cars pack the track. Well, in the Dirt Track Thing, or whatever, it's a Dirt Track Thing song. It says, all cars pack the track. If you don't see mud, you're starting in the back.
All right. Already in this early show, there's been more singing by you guys.
Yikes. Boy,
Conway is coming out tonight.
Again, you're getting what you pay for. Not the best.
My daughter was singing that, though, because it reminded her of that. Yeah. So they had to get all the cars out there, pack it up, because or pack the track in. Got started just a tish late, not super late.
Not too bad. Like I said, it still ended on time, so I think.
Yeah. So. Still a 3-hour show. I mean, they still got in and out of there pretty quickly, as you said.
That's what I'm thinking, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Let's see, where we're going to start. Sport Mods were up first. Levi runs. What kind of heater is he on right now?
Yeah. The tougher than dirt was real because he's backing it up.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it was real anyway, but.
Gabe Deshaw was the leader at one point, ended up getting passed by Levi.
And Keenan Glosser was leading.
Yep.
Gabe's there, Levi's there, and you kind of put in your mind that's probably where they're going to maybe finish. And no, Levi drove through them.
What's crazy is Levi +7, he wins. Gabe Deshaw +7, he got second. Stan Tomlinson third +7. Keenan Glosser started fourth, finished fourth.
What I'm taking from that is I don't think Gabe's called into the show. We haven't spoke to him. Or Keenan. But Levi has, so he's got the Dirt Weekly push.
Yeah.
He's got a draft going that just kind of.
He's got the next level vitamins.
The Dirt Weekly mojo is going his way.
Yeah, we got to get those other two on soon. So.
Then I think we rolled into the slingshots after the Sport Mods. That's how it rolls up there, right?
Yes. Yep.
I'm thinking like about 3 months ago, maybe in March, I'm envisioning Aaron Turnbull and the Devil sitting and maybe signing a contract. Because my goodness, Daddy and Eli, holy smokes.
Yeah, Eli Turnbull, another win in the slingshots.
Yeah. I again getting around good, and we all know all the reasons why. We kind of dissect that when we're in Watford City. But shout out to Hudson, man. I really enjoy his momentous lap that he makes. Kind
of that higher line.
And just great speed. I mean, just fantastic speed. I know he had some chain trouble. Talked with his dad, Greg, a little bit, and I'd shared that Stephen had some frustrations with that too. I think at the end of the day, I think the guys are welding the Master Link on there.
Oh,
no
joke.
They can't keep those chains from breaking or coming off the sprockets somehow. So I'm not 100% sure what the answer is. But again, shout out to Hudson. Again, he's just got just a big Daytona lap, if you will. He's just a lot of speed, big corners, and going places. He dominated his heat.
And Ellie Ruby went +5. She had that big momentous lap going around the top.
Niner doesn't let off, and she tells you that, and then she shows you. Right.
But look at all of the female drivers in this class.
Yeah.
It's loaded. Aisling's out there driving.
Yep, they were
Slado's car.
Yeah. Sladen's car. I thought I had understood from Stephen they were at least going to try to get Aisling's car going, but it only makes sense that if that's down, I know there's some clutching stuff there last fall, but to jump in Sladen's, and again, she didn't look like she rusted up too much over the winter either. She's ready to go. So.
And then there's another Turnbull I'm unfamiliar with.
Hallie.
Or Hallie, rather, yeah.
Hallie Turnbull.
Mm-hmm.
Younger than Eli?
Yes.
Yes.
Well, then we're talking really young.
Well,
there's one more.
Yeah, there's another one younger than Hallie.
Emily, I think. So.
Yeah.
Right.
So how old is Hallie?
I think a year or two younger than Eli.
Yeah,
I don't think it's a whole bunch younger.
Area. 10 maybe.
10.
Double digits.
But 10 would be appropriate for
I'm actually guessing. I got to stop.
But fourth place
Eli
finish.
is
but nonetheless,
Eli's 12, so I'm guessing Hallie would be 10.
Yeah.
Somebody will correct us.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right, Craig. She was able to. Did she get third or fourth? Fourth. Yeah. I took a double take on that too, because obviously she's picking up what Dad and Eli are doing. So she's taking notes. I want to be in the room taking notes.
Then we rolled into the stock cars. Kyle Schopp picks up another win. He's on a roll too.
Yeah, when Kyle hits, I mean, he's like Cody. I mean, wow. He's glad to be back in his own car and stuff like that. It's doing bigger wheelies than he wants to do, but nonetheless, he is finding victory circle, and you don't want to change things up too much if you can hang on. So.
Another one of them features, Gabe Deshaw out front leading, was passed by Kyle Schopp.
Mm.
Gabe led both features and got passed.
Mm-hmm.
I think he feels like one owes him. He's owed one.
But I'll give Gabe credit. I mean, some other drivers would have made their cars big and wide.
Right.
And, raced them very, very clean and allowed the pass.
Adam Goff getting his momentum rolling, third.
Yeah.
Starting to build it a little bit.
Adam's new car deal there, and he shares that. So, you just got to do enough things to it till you finally realize, till you figure out the consistency with it, where you're getting what you want.
Connor Hansen, fourth, and then the Labatt-mobile.
Oh, he's got muscle. That car just looks strong.
Yeah. Trimmed in green now.
Yeah. Brendan Labatt, fifth. In the modifieds, we joked on the radio, I had a radio headset on being the race director, that there may have only been 11 cars there. 10 cars there.
But the stoutness.
The quality of cars, the quality of the top 5 cars.
99%.
Yes. When you have Aaron Turnbull, Steve Pfeiffer, and Cody Schultz battling it out top 3, oh, buddy.
Yeah. Like we shared last year, the who's who was racing in.
Yep.
In Estevan.
Aaron,
weekly.
So the big farm strong, I shouldn't say it, but
Farm Boy Strong.
Farm Boy Strong, Pfeiffer, Turnbull just sat and followed him.
And that's what I like about your broadcast, your presentation, because Victory Lane, he gleaned so much information, and Aaron was a great interview down there.
Oh, that was an awesome interview. One of my favorite of all times to this point.
I mean, Steven was rocking fast, and Aaron gave him credit for showing him and said he would never have passed Steven if he'd have been out front. Steven probably would have won past him. That stinks. It's like leading at Daytona on the last lap.
That's exactly what this racing is, and nice on Aaron just to tell it the way it really is, without too much flair, because that's what you're doing. You're constantly monitoring, what the people ahead of you or around you are doing, so you can kind of figure out what's working for you, and it subconsciously comes together. And he shared that, like you say, in the interview. I mean, you're right. There's a lot in those interviews. If you don't understand them, you will eventually, and you really are like you're riding along with them. Great interviews for sure. Cool.
You can watch the whole race and get more out of that. Your visits, yeah.
It's them interviews. I miss doing it. I miss doing it at Nodak. I miss doing it in all the places. I can do it in Estevan because it's right down the steps and down there.
Yeah, you're close.
I was actually thinking in my mind how fun it would be to do it again in Williston if I could, and I can get Morgan to click a little few buttons on the keyboard to where him and I could shift off. He could go do one and I could go do one, and I could relieve him a part of that running back and forth thing, and me take, because I miss doing the interviews. I enjoy doing the interviewing part and just talking about the race.
When you reflect on the pass of the race or whatever and stuff like that, I mean, the guys are really good at recalling it, and it is neat to hear it in words what we saw. So they tell it pretty accurately. I'll say that too. So
Kyler Jeffrey, Tyson Turnbull showed up and racing his dad's car, top 5.
I hear rumors that he's putting together a car of his own. I don't know how far along he is, but it was nice to see him in Ed's car, just the same. So,
and I don't think I've seen Ed this whole season.
I've seen him on foot. But
not in the car.
Yeah, he has shared that he thinks all of his driving is behind him. So we should have made a bigger splash if that's the case. So, but that's he just says it just consumes so much time to get things ready. He said, and
well, maybe
we can't dial in.
Maybe we need to talk to him and bring him down to Nodak for one last hurrah at the Monty Lundy.
Yeah, Monty Lundy, maybe a little motor magic, just get some kick out of him. Yeah, we should work on that. Monty would be a great race for him. So.
I thought the Monty would be a fantastic race because maybe somebody else is going to drive a mod too. Maybe.
Yeah, well, there's some stuff poking around there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I was where you were last night, so.
I only came in on the end of the conversation.
Well,
so
you got all I got then. Right. Baby steps.
Craig's over here going, let me in on it. Let me in on it. IMCA Hobby Stocks. Caden Tuchscher picked up the win. We forgot to mention there was a tribute. It was a tribute night to Devin Gonis.
Yes.
The Estevan Motor Speedway did it right. They did it great. They brought up doors, quarter panels, like a whole side of Devin's stock car and a whole side of Devin's hobby stock.
I thought that was very tasteful.
And then the family put up extra money for the hobby stocks and the stock cars. There was some hard charger money. The whole family was there. I got to meet Devin's mom. I already knew who Devin's dad was.
Yeah.
The whole family was there. Dylan was there in a stock car, his brother Dylan Gonis.
Yep, he was able to jump in one of Jeremy Swanson's cars and just participate. The family's very, very emotional yet, and it was a very emotional night. With that said, all things I thought went the right way. I thought it was celebrated the right way. I sure hope they feel decent about the racing community being there for them, with them, through this with them. It was a cool event, though. So, yeah, it's hard to put some things in words, but very emotional. So,
super cool event. I mean, him being the other 47. He called me the other 47. He doesn't realize I was here about 20 years before he was.
It's hard sharing numbers. So, right.
But Caden Tuchscher picks up a win. He's kind of he had momentum. I talked about that in the interview with him. He had momentum in going into the Tougher the Dirt Tour. And then the first few nights, and something just didn't click the last few nights.
I thought he stepped back up to the plate.
Right, now he's
solid again. And what I see in him is that maybe some of that, if you will, a little bit of lucky finishes, or could be labeled that. It's no longer lucky. He's knowing where to be, where to keep the car. Don't go down here when you know you got two behind you. I mean, stay on your cushion. Stay in the fast part of the track. I see some coming together quickly of that there, and his long term is going to be very bright. So
what I kind of took from that race as well, though, he maybe didn't have speed wise the fastest car, but he had a consistent.
That's
drive.
Kind of what I'm describing.
Yep.
Is that he has a driver. The
most consistent.
Yeah, contained.
Yeah, contained.
Controlled, disciplined.
I mean, Cash Saxon, Diesel Rayner, Tyson Grinstead were all there, and they could all get to him, but every one of them, they were driving, I call it super hard or over hard.
Certainly aggressive, trying to get there.
And they would screw up, lose a spot.
Upset the car, lose some rolling speed. Exactly. That's what I thought. That's what I thought Caden was. He was disciplined. He knew where to keep himself. Shout out to Tyson. A great weekend.
Great run for him. Yep.
Clearly,
showing some speed.
Some guys that I slept
finishes.
on. Tyson from last year to this year has been outstanding. Caden Tuchscher, he came up behind me and I never even knew who he was, and he's been amazing. The Saxon brothers.
Oh boy, you don't want to miss the race.
Oh, that was hobbies. I talked about it last time, how hobbies are so much fun. I don't know how those street tires held on those rims. I kept thinking he was going to just roll them right off. He was slide jobbing like Tom Berry Jr. in that car.
Oh, man, that one slide job.
And the tires howl.
Oh, yeah. If you're there in person, as they go across that hard track or whatever.
They're howling.
It sounds like a something. A
yeah.
seal.
Yeah. It does. And they got it going on. Their tires are screaming.
But oh man, I'm standing up on the top of the pit bleachers because that's where my perch is when I race direct there, and I was watching that battle for the lead. I was expecting, me as a racer watching the race, I was expecting Raynard to make a move. I was. Raynard was getting super close, like I was thinking slide job or there was something coming. And Raynard starts to pull out of line going into turn 3. But he lifts. He doesn't go all the way in there. And all of a sudden, a flash from behind. Here comes Cash Saxon, and he slide jobs both of them.
That was the slide of what I'm going to call maybe the decade. He slid both the leaders.
Both of them.
And
he didn't touch him.
It didn't touch him. Didn't go off the track. He kept his momentum.
And didn't impede them.
Not at all.
A TBJ slide if there ever was one. In the hobbies. Oh, man. Yeah, I puckered right out.
I did the same thing.
And then it did.
I went like this.
Wow.
Receiver is always on my left. I went like this.
Getting
and I'm
ready.
like, oh, don't need it.
Unbelievable. That was the slide of all slides. He took a big bite, and he got her done. Right. Yep. Yeah, again, like I say, top 5-6 cars are putting on the show. So
They are.
Good racing.
I was just thinking.
That was the slide of slides.
Oh.
It's been the slide of the year so far. Is it on film?
Well, I don't know yet. I should have had this. Our production meeting we had, before the show and all the work that we put in. We should have maybe had all this squared away.
All 23 seconds?
Oh, it's on darn TV.
Did you? Oh, you got to watch the slide?
I didn't make it up there. That's how I saw it.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Jenny
it's on
caught
film,
it.
Then.
Yep.
Yeah, well, that's good. It's archived then because in real life it was yeah. Where's he going? To the front apparently. So he dropped down and took off. I thought he was going to jump in the grandstand.
You know what? I might jump a little ahead to the last part of the show here, but that could be our making moves.
It could be. It could be.
How old is that young man? It wasn't long ago he was in the slingshots, correct?
Yeah. Well, no, I don't think.
The beauty of my race pass.
Got to be teenagers.
Cash.
So if you could go back to what you always talk about, the slingshots, usually when they're driving, it's just planter to the floor.
And steer, yeah. He must have had a flashback because he tipped her in there. And like, where is he headed?
He does not have his
Don't have
age on there.
Well, like you say, somebody will get us tuned up. So
eventually they will.
Yeah. No, there's some good racing up there. Like you say, got out of there still at the regular time. A little bit of setback on.
Here, let's we're gonna get out of that. We're gonna cut it over here. We got to be getting close. We're gonna bring it up, interact it there. Maybe make it a 10-second jump. Okay. Nope, not yet. Got to get excited for that turn 3 move. These 4 cars here. I mean, even Brody Singleton. That's another guy. You're never gonna hear his name unless he comes down to the States. But that guy there has made so much improvement.
Is that the
8 car?
8N?
And then Smith in the 16. I think this one's Pat Smith.
Yeah, that's Pat there, yep. Yeah. Pat getting around good, too. I believe he had a flat tire, and he come back and got
I like
back
the
in
white
this race.
wheels. I'm a fan of the white wheels.
It's a throwback to the way things used to be.
Oh, he's starting to get punchy.
Yeah.
He's like, all right, I'm feeling something.
Punchy. This might be it then because
he's thinking I had a full bag of ketchup-flavored chips before I started this race.
Yeah, you're right. He's sizing it up. There's a lot of real estate in front of him, including the 2 cars.
Well, actually, now that I think about Aaron's interview, he talked about how it was grippy in the middle, and so Cash is probably feeling that right now.
Yeah, I watched these hobby stock guys try to start rolling through that middle, and I don't know if there maybe was something there or wasn't. See here, they're
punchy, as you would say, Craig, because
he's coming.
He's getting the haymaker lined up here. Diesel's working on Caden. Yeah.
Is it a situation where a seasoned vet would go back to Cash?
Here it is, right here. Watch this.
Oh my God!
Boy,
but he comes out of it in second.
It was a heart stopper watching. I'm like, where's he going? He knew where he was going. Yeah.
How dare you guys doubt me?
So if you're
Caden did a good job of being in the right place all the time.
Yep.
So,
but
see, here's another one.
Here's crisscrosser.
He's got the momentum.
No lack of courage.
Crossover, Tuchscher.
Yeah, Caden keeps it all straight and stuff like that.
That's a good race.
Important.
Oh, it was a fantastic race to end the night up at the Estevan Motor. I mean, it was a fantastic night.
Yeah.
Brandon, the only way you can describe it is show it. Thank you for bringing this up.
Yeah. We were sitting there talking about it, and I'm like, man, how do you not show this? But
yeah, that was if it lacked a little luster watching it, believe me, it didn't when you were live there.
But Tuchscher didn't get rattled by it.
And that's kind of where I'm going with that. Is his discipline is real because he's getting sightings.
Well,
it's time to be nervous and make mistakes.
Discipline is right because he is not tempted to go down into that slick middle right there.
You're right. That's the draw. See, Saxon's trying to pull him down.
Yeah,
trying to show him it's faster down here than he can zip around the outside of him. But he doesn't fall for it. Look at Diesel down there trying to put the dig back on him. Right.
Oh, here we go again.
Yeah, we got Faith there. Where are we going? Like I say, all elements of racing are at play here.
So can you use up the tires?
Nah, not so much. Not on a racetrack like this. I mean, there's some slick in the middle per se, but you're not using tires on this deal.
I don't think to a point of performance loss.
Right.
Yeah.
That right where Grinstead is there, it's slick. It's spin your tires slick if you're not careful. Yeah. It's not hammered down. But up where, Caden has his right side in that dark colored dirt, that's pretty
gripped.
Yeah. You're still feathering it a little bit just to keep the car underneath you, but
a little bit crumbly up there, but nonetheless.
Cash wants this worse than anything.
And he has to be in a different lane to do it.
You see how he's hung out when he's down that lane. That's the difference. The grip level is different when you move down into that gray area. Right there, he spins and
there's conversation that as you keep it tailed out like that, eventually, even if you're not using up the tires, you're still changing the drive of the car to the point where it just doesn't refire or rebound.
I was expecting some sort of slider here.
Yeah, after that 2-car.
Oh! See, now,
he pushed a little there. He had to jump on the brakes so he doesn't run over him.
But a great job on Cash's end.
Yeah.
Cash went in there.
That was for the win, so, it was last corners are different on the last lap.
Would it be unapproved to just give a little, no one could blame you.
It becomes controversial.
Yeah.
Well, especially if you go on to win, I would say there's probably a chance in this neck of the woods you're not going to get the win because you crunched them to get it. So
yeah.
But nonetheless, it's the setup was real. The last corner of the last lap is a different corner than all the other ones.
Dale Senior would have just laid it into you.
Oh, yeah.
And he'd be like, "You're
taking them both into the bleachers." Well, I tried. Yeah, pretty cool.
Yeah, pretty fun.
See, that's what makes racing cool. You go and you go and you go to get that, and then you got that high, and you say, "I want to see it again."
Yeah.
I can't imagine what it's like in the car.
Yeah, it's breath holding most of the time.
It's not any different per se.
You are paying attention. I don't think you blink.
So much of it is just reactionary when you're in the car. Yeah. It's just you don't even realize what you're thinking or doing.
Exactly. It's just a subconscious. Yeah, I've said that too. Because you want to make sure that you're paying attention and you're on your sharpest, but it just does it. So,
yeah. So that was Estevan Motor Speedway.
Yep. Another good night at Estevan.
The fun part is every track seems to be momentum is trending up for every one of these right now. Like the racing is getting to its high point where
guys have been trying stuff. We reflected on Adam there. He's bringing it in now. The things that have worked in the past and things that aren't, he's dividing that up and making a better presentation. So.
Then we move to the Playground of Power Championship night, Nodak Speedway.
We got a couple of humdingers on the line. I think we had a 2-point race there somewhere.
Yeah, we had Sport Mods.
Sport Mods had 3 players.
Had Chad Stretchin in the lead going into tonight. 2 points back was Robbie Roselli. 6 points back was Gabe DeShaw.
From Chad. Yeah. Well, things got interesting.
That got fun. Should we pick up right there or what?
Yeah, I think so.
Look at that. I already have it preloaded. Look at that.
Oh, a little bit of production. So
right here, I just fast forwarded. I just kind of skimmed through it. We're 17 to go.
Chaddy's leading, right?
No. Hooker and Ravinius are out front.
Okay.
Spicy Dave with a good run.
Spicy, yeah. He had borrowed a 4-inch offset last week, so he was looking for something.
But Gabe DeShaw quickly putting the pressure on Chad Stretchin and Robbie Roselli here. Quickly. Gabe is going to the front.
Meets the call right away.
Yep. Chad is just hanging there. All I got to do is keep Gabe in front of me.
Roselli
went up in the marbles. He got tight and pushed up into the marbles here early on. See how far back Robbie is.
Yeah, he's way
back there. That yellow car.
And then he ends up not finishing.
Well, I think there's a caution in here somewhere. But look at Stan Tomlinson in the 11T. He's got to be a sleeper in your mind, isn't he?
Well,
getting around strong all the time.
Brooklyn and him coming on big here at the end.
Stan went and did some racing this spring down in Iowa and stuff like that. That always helps. So
can I give a little love to Smalls again? We probably didn't make any money this night, but it's championship night. You can't cancel your championship night.
No, you're 100%
fair. Because
and that was
we want to play this out.
That was the attitude going into the day. They weren't canceling. Mm-hmm. It wasn't even a thought process.
Yeah, and like you say, the grandstand revenue was just what it looked like.
Meager at best.
Meager at best. Good wording. Yeah. It was. Yeah, it wasn't spunky. But nonetheless here, so there's a lot of chess going on here with Chad because he knows Gabe's up there and he's got to make sure there ain't too many cars between them.
Knowing it's 6 points, Chad understands the game. Mm-hmm. Robbie's the one that if he gets 2 cars ahead of him, that's where trouble ensues. But Chad right here rolling around in 4th, just don't jeopardize your car. If Hooker gets a little bit too racy and wants to get a little aggressive, just let him go. Yeah. Just understand the bigger picture.
Yeah.
And you got to think all that while you're driving out there in the car. Yeah. Can you do that?
Here's what I'm thinking about Chad Strachan.
And don't get tight and push and let 3 cars by you.
That was Chad's first championship.
I caught that in the interview.
But listen.
6 runner-ups.
Right. If it's not for Nathan Burke, right, Chad Strachan could have more championships than anybody in the history of Nodak.
Did Nathan shut him out?
Well, I mean, he chased Nathan for many years in those stock cars.
Yeah. Okay, right, in the stock cars, right. Yeah. Yeah, you're right. There was a yellow here and things.
So here's where Roselli starts to make some serious ground up, though. He has a really good restart here, and he starts working. As you're out there driving around, you're packing in kind of a higher line. We might have one more restart before Robbie. But he's able to get almost up to Chad at one point in time. See, Robbie here, he's struggling. He's
up pretty high, and
he's.
I'm watching this from the top of my trailer, which is not the world's best view.
This is a lot better, huh?
Yeah.
So, but Robbie's struggling. He's pushing up the hill. To me, Robbie's frustrated at this point as a racer. Sometimes you get too much in your head. You get frustrated. He had a bad corner early on.
Around there, yeah.
Glosser went around.
So we do have another restart. Mm-hmm.
So this is where now you remove Glosser out of there, and I think somebody else went to the pits, and it actually gifted Robbie 2 spots, if I remember right. Maybe not. No, probably not on this one. But, Robbie's sitting 10th, and he's 1, 2, 3, 5. Yeah, he's in.
Hey, shout out to Handshoe digging here.
Yeah.
Yep. Now there's 8
Cole
to
just
go.
lets her all hang out, and
he always does.
If it doesn't stop on him, it usually does end up in a pretty good position. So, yeah.
Here's where old Colito and Dave, they start to roll this higher line in. They're actually above. It's weird because you can almost see where the cushion was a week ago. Like they try to cut it out with the blade, but right where they're at
there still. Mm-hmm.
You racing nerds.
You can. Actually, the entire right.
What'd you say?
I said you racing nerds. Seeing that?
Yeah, it's right there.
It
does look like last week's berm.
And no matter, it's just one of them deals as a track crew. No matter how hard you try to cut that out, it's hard to cut that out once that berm is laid in there. And you can see it at this end. There's like a strip right basically where they're driving. You can almost see it where it was a week ago.
Yeah.
And Smalls doing a great job with the racetrack all night. He tried to go out there and beat that dirt down to get the cars to go above it all night. He went out there in between every race and tried to. And then the cars under yellow. Bruce is telling them to run the pack in the high side.
It in, and they ran out there with the wheel packers in between the races too. So,
All right, so if you're in Gabe's head. Going back to the night previous, he said 2 guys pass him for the win.
There you go. Look at this situation that's building.
Craig.
Look at this situation that's building.
He's got to be watching in the mirrors he doesn't have.
Gabe is first. Chad is in 5th. Nephew Taylor right behind Chad. Does Taylor pass him? But now Chad's making a move to try to put some insurance between them.
3 wide.
And not get damaged. So he can't clear Cole, but there's some anxiety there.
And Chad's thinking, hey, Cole, I'm trying to run for a championship. Could you just back off?
Don't give me a flat. As he's going back and forth. Yeah. Yeah, Chad knows there's no losing it if I'm in third and I can't see Robbie, so. A lot of gotta-be's playing nice. Boy, him and Cole are way too close for
championship comfort.
The stakes
See, now here's Robbie. Robbie's starting to stick his nose in there. Yeah. This is where, you get a caution with Robbie within a position of Chad. You get a caution, a better restart by Robbie. Then the things.
Ooh. Yeah. Robbie's back down low. That's usually where he gets going. So.
Just some contact, right front contact on the left rear of Stenvold. Robbie just pulls it, says, I'm done, and pulls it in the pits.
I was on top of my trailer. I knew he didn't come out of the corner. I didn't know what had happened. So that's what happened. So, wow. Well, like you say, Craig, good on Chatty. 6 runner-ups and now a W championship. Good on him. Exciting.
Gabe DeShaw making up for the last 2 nights, but a caution before he takes the checkered. And what's Nodak's rule, Craig?
1 attempt at a green-white checkered.
Yes, for the betterment of the show.
Do you agree with our rule?
It all depends on what's going on.
Depends on where my fantasy players are.
Well, in this case, what do you have, Chad, and I have Gabe. And Jordan has Cole.
Yeah.
So we're all in the top.
We're in.
4.
Well, a yellow can change the world.
Oh yeah.
Entirely. Yeah. Yeah.
That's why Chad restarting 4th, in that inside, if they jam up coming out of the corner, you could see 2 or 3 cars go by on the outside.
Yeah. And he doesn't know Robbie's out yet, I don't think.
Well, he might see him in the infield at this point.
There. Yeah.
Stands in a sandwich of a lot of hot company right there.
I got to give it to Cole. He don't let up.
Oh, boy, he's got a run there on Gabe.
He said he got in the lead there for a moment, somewhere. I said there's no lack of attack angle here. Yikes.
But there you go. There's Taylor going around Chad.
Yeah, you're sitting there. You're running 5th now if you're Chad stretching going, one more car can't pass me. I got to hold on for one more lap.
Yeah.
Glosser, Ravinia, stay back there.
I've got a 1-pointer on him right here. Uh-huh. And if they were to tie, the most feature wins would break the tie. And if they have the same amount, the most number of seconds would break the tie. And if they have the same amount, the most number of thirds. So Dalton and I were in one of those deals for a runner-up one year in Williston. I think we got down to thirds before the tie was broke for a runner-up.
But Gabe, after 2 nights of getting, or 2 races of getting past the night before in the lead, he drives to the front on a mission. I'm going to win this thing. I don't care where anybody lays.
No more sneakies.
Yep.
No. Yeah, he did a good job of covering his position. Once
you try and pass me, I'm putting you in the upper deck.
I just want to be fast enough. You can't have that opportunity. Yeah. Heck yeah. Uh-huh.
Hobby stocks now. This one, as soon as the green flag comes out, it's over. Soon as the green flag, because Kyler Satrin had 19 points on Cade Nappelt, only 16 cars signed in.
Yeah.
Point per car, per
actually
position.
Technically taking a green in the heat.
In the heat. I just said for
the excitement.
For the optics of this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And with that said, he's right in the race too. Although he got
this
a little
deal
bounce
here
around there.
This one here is a tough one.
I get in the car, so I'm missing some of this. Oh wait, no, that's Brody. I'm sorry. I was thinking that was Kyler. Ooh.
Max right there saved his dad a lot of money. Did you see that move? The 47's way back there. He likes to play around in the back to beginning the race. I don't understand his logic on what he's doing, but he saved Tyson Grinstead and Brandon Beater a lot of money.
2 race cars. Ooh, yeah. Tyson pointing the wrong way there.
Jordan, I'm going to draw attention to the 70 car. We talked about tail out in Estevan, how that kind of drags you down.
Uh-huh.
Depends on the racetrack you're on.
Look at he's dang near sideways sometimes.
But if them guys would have stopped on that deal,
what's happening there?
Well, they got kind of locked horns or whatever you want to call
together.
it. But ultimately, unfortunately, if you go back to the root cause of this, watch what Caden does, and everybody has to react to his slide for life coming out of the quarter, getting into Twite, and it's all a chain reaction from there. It's just what it is, but Rangeloff and Haas need to lift.
Yeah. Right. You got to lift to save it for the next lap.
But Caden's not going to lift, so if you lift, you lose.
Correct. Pretty much where it comes from. Oh, I brought in the old instant replay to the broadcast this week, so we'll get back to racing action, normal racing action. Appelt out front at this point. Raynard, here comes Saxons, both Saxons, and Appelt is putting a whooping on him. Within 2 laps of a restart, he had
he got a corner
3 seconds on him. This is a racetrack, when I tell you, when we interviewed Caden earlier this year, and I said I would never want to race on a racetrack like that has a lot of grip and moisture in it because he would whoop me all day long.
But you need a horsepower motor then on a track like that, don't you?
I mean, there's crate motors right behind him that are, keeping up with them. I wouldn't say keeping up, but
yeah, he's not scared to pitch it in. Last week's track and this week's track was similar.
It takes an aggressive throttle jockey. I don't know how else to call it.
And then just to throw it from
a
football field back.
Yeah, you just got to whip her in there and just stay in the throttle.
I think you're on the ice on the highway. You throw it in there way back there. It'll slide in there.
He's ready to move up to the stock cars.
I haven't heard that dialogue, but his skill level says that, that'd be some consideration for sure.
Rumor on the street, and I don't know if this is a true rumor or not, that he might be done racing for a while.
That's dumb.
Yeah, we got a second kid and stuff like that.
Life's getting busy.
Yeah, we reflect on that. But you're right, Craig. He's the measuring stick every night. So,
Kyler won the championship, but Caden
won all but 2 races.
Yeah,
but the 2 races he didn't win, he was DNFs.
The Nodak monkey.
Yep,
for him. Domination without the complete point package. Had many of those seasons myself in the 90s. Not all of them.
You see here, though, like Cash Saxon has a crate motor in, and it's yo-yo, and you watch it. So Cash is actually making ground up right here, lap time, because it was at 3.4. Now it's all the way down to 2.8. Now, I'm not saying he's lightning fast quicker, but he's a little bit quicker
maintaining
here.
The gap and closing it ever so slightly. Yeah.
I need to know, why is he so fast?
Because he's a good driver.
Yeah.
It's okay. It's not all equipment. It's okay to say
courage sideways way back there.
He drives aggressively.
But when he gets away from him, it might be catastrophic.
Yes.
He can't pull it back.
What makes him so good is what also is a detriment why he can't win a championship.
Yeah.
Because it's aggressive all the time.
But there's no defense. So he can't pull it back. It's all or nothing. And well, as long as it stays on all, it's good. But when he has to make seemingly a defensive move or try to not get into something, it goes around or it gets into something or something gets him when he's spun around.
And then back to the information learned in Victory Lane, we learn a lot. He popped the motor.
Coming to the checker?
Yes, somebody also said, I've heard, I don't know, somebody might be able to clarify it out there. I heard ignition, but I also heard he blew the motor. That's what I heard in Victory Lane, is popped a motor. And I heard ignition as well. So I'm not 100% sure. His engine builder was at the truck stop after the races and said, might be an ignition deal and not a motor deal.
Okay. But it looked like everybody was at the truck stop. Going by Hascar's picture in the parking lot. Oh, yeah.
Ooh.
It's still close 4 days later.
And Brian Eubank says enduro racing is why Caden Appelt's so fast. He likes that.
Yeah.
More of a wetter mud
Slicked
situation.
Up track, go fast. That makes as much sense as anything because he's not. He lives hung out.
Yeah.
So and it's usually just not consistent enough to.
And here you have 6 points in the stock cars between Brock Beater. Okay, Brock Beater and Gabe DeShaw are tied, and they're both tied 6 points back of Will Shareski.
And in this spot right now, there's plenty of cars between them, so one of those two is leading.
Look at Brock. That's what the genius is of this car or Brock's driving. He's been able to stick that thing up top, down low, anywhere. And it just
rolls over nice and just hooks.
It does what he asks it to.
Here's a Jorn sighting too, getting in there, wants to play a little bit.
I thought I had the speed of the pack.
Whoa!
Just on the wrong end of it, but I'd freed some stuff up. Maybe my natural feel for balance is gone tight on me, so I thought I'd be too free, and it was pretty dang nice. So it was nice to have a little bit of speed finally. Well, we got out of there with the 7th. The way the year's been going, I'll call that not so bad.
Yeah, 4 laps in, already a lot of racing. Guys to the front had some cautions.
Track-wise, I thought there was a bottom there. Thought I could get around it pretty decent. I mean, these are momentous cars, so you're probably going to have to live up high. But nonetheless, there's moves being made on the bottom, and those are tricky tracks to build and hope for. So.
And Goff with another strong run. He's running top 3. He's able to hang out right up there at the front. I think that's one of his...
Yeah, probably his best weekend with Estevan and Minot combined. So getting the feel for it, getting his base set up, getting what he's going to need to have going into the tour here. So. And
I really thought this race was building to have a good slide job kind of finish back and forth. Tuchscher either has a mirror or something because he's able to maneuver where the guys behind him are.
Where the setup's coming?
Like he's kind of crowding the bottom, but he's still holding the top, and it's kind of a,
I'm everywhere that you can't slide me.
And here's where
Kyle
Schopp has...
He's paying attention.
You guys go ahead and fight over the bottom because I'm going to go around both of you up high if you ain't careful. And that's pretty much what it is.
Yeah. Yeah, that's certainly what he's thinking. But like you say, then Tuchscher's high and Brock's working the low. But
yeah, it looks like Brock's on his own.
How the heck does Tuchscher know to go up there? That Schopp is coming.
We better look for mirrors. Chris, what do you got going on there? Yeah, Kyle's fully in this event now. So
okay, Brandon, what would you advise Brock here if you could talk to him in his ear? Would you say get up?
I wish he would have before this deal when Tuchscher was blocking him down low. When Tuchscher moved down low to kind of cover the bottom of the racetrack, I don't want to say blocking because you can't block. You can't see who's behind you.
Yeah.
When he was covering the bottom,
should have played the top.
Should have played the top card.
Yeah.
Knowing that Tuchscher was just as fast up there.
Whoa.
Yeah.
And here I thought both of them were going to get Tuchscher, but
yeah, Chris doesn't give up though. Obviously.
No.
So.
What a badass stock car race, though.
Yeah.
Could you ask for any more?
Well, and they're not touching.
Yeah, they're not touching. They're.
Yeah, just.
See, there you think Brock's going to go.
So.
Yeah. See, now here Brock needs to get up in line. Get up behind Schopp, run for a couple laps, get up to his bumper.
But that car feels so good down there.
Yeah, but he's already been passed a couple times. But I get it. Brock's going for a win. Brock's going, I want to win this damn thing. I want to put the pressure on Will Shareski to get in the top 6, and then we'll roll.
They haven't seen Will yet. So
I think what he's trying to do is slide up in front of Kyle if he can clear him.
And then be on top.
Yep.
Yeah. But getting around one stock car is a full-fledged effort. A pair of them, take the Saxon move.
I think I'd be a dirty racer. I just cannot believe that you guys can resist the temptation and say, "Arr!"
Well, when you fix the right side all week long, you get over it.
Yeah. When you have to fix the side of your, what number, 11C compact?
Yeah, when it's...
You sold my 11C.
I didn't sell anything.
Hey, Tuchscher's got that back at the track.
Yeah, put a motor in it.
Yeah, I got Taven in it, right?
Yep.
Yeah, this is a good race.
That is a good race.
Tuchscher loses the lead, falls all the way back to third at one point, and battles back up to the lead again.
That's pretty crazy.
But remember, Kyle was up in Estevan. He saw the move like cash.
Yeah.
I can do it too.
That was a good slider, and Chris yet answered the call, so Brock's paying attention, but like I say, it's a good race. It was a fun track. Heck yeah.
Some of the best tracks are the worst weather nights.
They are, yeah, because the sun ain't out.
So it's great racing. You don't get a crowd, but it's amazing that no one gets to see.
When it's going to be a cloudy day, you're going to have great racing. But like you say, the want to come to see it certainly gets lesser. So
the modifieds, Tuchscher starts up front again.
Steven just had to sign in for the most part, take green in the heat. He had a 39 point, but that didn't keep him from digging in and putting on a show.
No, this top four here with Tuchscher, Hagen, Walla, Pfeiffer, and then Drew Christensen will throw his name into the top 5 before it's all said and done, and Tomlinson there. When Chris Tuchscher just got out of his stock car and battled with Schulp and Beater, and now he's got to deal with the dark horse.
See, Brandon, Travis is a lot like Caden that you were just talking about, saying it isn't all about equipment.
Right.
It's all about what they got that God gave them.
I'm going to say this, though. That'll be the only comparison you make between Travis Hagen and Caden Appelt. Travis Hagen is a calculated, aggressive driver. He only uses that aggression when it's needed.
Yeah.
Caden uses that aggression every lap, every day, every time.
I mean, there is some similarities there when the situation demands it. But
right.
Travis doing more than about 2 laps of Caden would be rare.
Travis sat there behind
the tire after that.
Travis sat there behind Chris Tuchscher and watched what Tuchscher was doing and then said, okay, I got to do the opposite. I got to do what he's not doing.
Yeah, he gets right up underneath them there and does what they do and then goes, no, I think I can do it better this way coming off. And
then once he gets in the lead, I thought Walla, it's pretty much kind of I think Sondrel goes around and gets put to the back. We have a yellow in here somewhere, or maybe we don't. No, he doesn't. He was yellow in the heat race. He's driving to the front. He started last in this deal.
I think Hottie South's got others. What, a 5th? Maybe a 4th?
Yeah, he gets all the way up to Tomlinson.
Yeah, he was 7 green arrows.
Team Jorn. Bumper to bumper. Mm-hmm.
But see, Hagen put some distance on him. We're going to fast forward. Oh, we do have a yellow here. We better...
What was that? Is that Chris?
Tuchscher.
I
don't know if we got this one on tape or not. I'm sure somebody knows. There's Sondrel and Tomlinson slide jobbing back and forth for 6th. And then we'll pan over to turn 4 as they come out of the corner. We'll catch what happened here. Right there.
Ooh. That Fife dog getting into a seed man?
Yep. Yep.
Did I call it right or? Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah.
Who got the call?
Tuchscher actually ended up with the call.
Oh.
And then we get down to 4 laps to go. Cody Schulp says Appelt is the complete opposite of how Andrew Birch used to win races. Birch was more of a calculated,
keeping it straight.
Mm-hmm. And this is no rip on anybody. We're not. Just we're just talking.
The results are the same. We're just saying how they got there.
Driving styles are completely different.
Mm-hmm.
The big show, right in his
I
tracks.
thought this was setting up. I thought the way Walla could get up there like that. I go, if he can just get the right run, we're going to see slide jobs on the last lap here, coming around to get or that was the last lap. This is the last lap.
This is it, huh? Uh-huh.
Or now they got the white flag that time. So the lap board was a lap off for some reason. And here's where I thought it was building. I'm like, okay, dive it in there.
Look how deep Travis is.
Yeah, Travis drove it in
cow.
super deep.
It seemed like the big show kind of drifted up a little bit there.
Well, he tried to gauge off Travis, and Travis drove it in so hard to block the slide job.
On him all the way to the center of the corner, and he's like, oh, wait, I got to turn.
So why do you think only 11 mods?
I think it's just getting to that time of year.
Yeah.
I think it's just getting to that time of year.
Yeah. Some expectations are hard to fulfill. The reality of what it is. Tours coming up. There's some of that.
That's 2 in a row.
Day job requirements.
For the 11P.
Yes.
You got one with him?
Yeah. Yeah. He's a double platinum album. Yep.
And I think they said 4. You mentioned 4, and it seems more than that to me.
For what?
Championships?
Right.
Well, I have the list right here.
I would say Katie had the list there at one time. So
I have the list right here.
You got it then.
There's been
I would say this is the 4th.
Some debates on a couple names on the list. Katie and I went through the list the other day.
Oh, by the way, thank you, Katie, for racing.
Yeah.
Thank you, Katie.
And thank you, Commish, for making that rule change.
Oh, just for you.
I took all year, but we got there. No, Jason wasn't feeling good for some reason. We talked to him earlier in the night. She said he just is not feeling good. So
Trying to find the.
So
there we go. Compacts.
I don't get Rusty.
We
Katie
jumped over the compacts. So we're going to go back to the champions list. I don't want to forget the compacts. They get their due as well.
Yeah.
10-point advantage for Zach Eubanks rolling into tonight.
Over
Chris Yost and Landon Michelson.
And
Yost starting on the front row.
And he hasn't been
Chris Yost.
No, all year.
Yeah.
Zach has had his way.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Chris just has not been the Chris of the past. I resemble that.
Again, back to the interviews, he was chatting that he's been driving other people's cars all year.
Yeah, because something went bad with his car. I can't remember what it was, but...
And people wanted his input, so that's been done before, So
there's 12 cars signed in. Ultimately, Zach Eubanks has to beat 2 of them.
But an early DNF could change everything.
Yeah.
Which he doesn't have, but...
So just keep your nose clean here, and you'll hang on for a championship. But Brooklyn Tomlinson showing her strength again out front.
Yeah, I was just going to touch on that. She was able to get around Zach for the win, and I see she was also able to get around him for second, at least looking at the points. I thought it was around anyway. Maybe she was ahead of him.
See, if I'm Lily and Brooklyn, I get together and say, we're dumping Zach. Girl power.
Well, they certainly hang out together, so one can only guess the conversation. But, no, good on Zach. He's doing just what championships are made of, just strong every night. He's had a couple of mechanical woes, but nothing that got him too far out. And at the same time, I thought maybe he ran a championship feature where let's just get the championship job done tonight. Let's not worry about the night's individual details. So.
And again, just like the other drivers that we were talking about, if the cars are equal, he's a darn good driver.
Yep.
Especially in the front-wheel drive division.
Yeah.
This takes a different mentality or mindset or...
Yeah, just a whole different presentation, it appears. So,
White flag this time. Heavy lap traffic for Yost. He had a pretty good advantage going in, and by the end of this lap here, I think Brooklyn Tomlinson almost catches all the way up to him. I think this is the Christian Berg car that he's driving right now, if I remember right. I guess Brooklyn didn't get that close. I thought that was a different race I was watching.
Yeah. I thought Brooklyn had a nice spring back from her win last week, power steering issues and whatnot, come back and got a second this week. Brooklyn cementing herself down as a
quality
front-end player, so good on the whole class. There's a commitment to racing whatever we've raced here, 10 weeks deep now, or maybe 9, but yeah, it started with a doubleheader in April. Here we are. So,
Okay. Now you wanted the talk champions list, right?
Yeah.
Wondering where the Fife dog is.
Let me get it zoomed up here.
Maybe that's not taken into consideration with sodas.
So if you
Nodak would be.
Hold up. So if you are going off, if you were there for the opening of the show, everything Brandon Beater, the announcer, spoke was all IMCA. I did not include anything pre-IMCA. Okay? And I thought I tried to make myself clear enough as I was giving the list of...
So at Nodak, that would be 1997
for modifieds.
Forward.
And 2000 for stock cars.
Yeah.
And I think we came up with 2006 for hobby stocks and 2012 for sport mods.
Okay.
So everything I gave for stats leading into the night while we were under rain delay was them numbers. Yeah,
IMCA only.
IMCA
no WISSOTA.
only.
You had asked that.
Because I had pulled information from my buddy Ben Deathridge, helped me out, gather some of that, make sure it was all on the up and up. But as for total track championships, Nathan Burke with 9. Do I need to zoom it up a little bit more again? So Nathan Burke has 9. Hank Berry was 6. Now Steve Pfeiffer has 4.
Boy, I thought Hank had 7.
But when I went back into my list,
Gee, Jordan, 96, 97, 98 were pretty good to you.
Yeah, 2 in one of those years. So,
See, you feel like more than 4 to me, too.
well, similar to Chad. I got like 6, 7, 8 runner-ups that were 1 and 2 pointers.
one thing you'll see on
Had a
this list,
breakdown.
Kyler Satrin's down here right next to the 24 or whatever. He's on line 24, not the 24 driver, but line 24. He's going to move up into the 4 ranks with Henderson and Hellebust, and Pfeiffer moves up 1. What I came up with was a little bit different, and that's where our debate ensued, per se, because I'm getting it.
This is a nice list you got here.
This is not mine. I cannot even take credit for it. I will not take credit for it. This is Katie Rubin.
Yeah, Katie put this together, so it's an impressive amount of work to make this presentable.
Well, you think about sometimes our Hall of Famers that as time moves on maybe fall to the back of your mind. Doug Grove's there with 5. Wow.
Yeah, that was unheard of not so many years ago. Well, pre-IMCA.
So on my list here, I show Steven. This is me going back and looking through yearbooks and talking to, and maybe I got it wrong. Steven would have 5 now.
5 now. Okay, so he had 3 before last year. All modifieds.
No, he has 1 stock car
Oh,
and
okay.
3 modifieds. So now he has 4 modifieds and 1 stock car.
okay. Ah,
So, yeah. But yes, it's a cool list to go back and see.
next season will be the 30th year of IMCA sanction per se mods.
For A-mods. That's crazy.
30 years.
And that doesn't seem real because I remember when the transition was happening.
That was my heydays. Actually, before it, I would consider myself sliding down the back side by the time we became IMCA sanctioned. So, wow. Well, no wonder.
Nationwide. Who's bigger?
Well, IMCA by far.
By far. It ain't even
the
close.
biggest sanction. Obviously, in the area, it's WISSOTA, Wisconsin, Minnesota is what that represents. And there's USM or
USMTS,
MTS,
USRA.
Yeah. They're all kind of in 2, 3, 4 state type windows, but IMCA is certainly coast to coast, north, south, east, and west. So, yeah.
Who made those decisions?
That
was a John deal, probably.
Yeah, it was our regime for sure. Just got more guys maybe looking at traveling and stuff like that. Going to Florida, going to Arizona, things like that.
Because
Even back
nothing was
then,
broke at that point.
WISSOTA mod count was slipping a little bit. If I remember right, our last WISSOTA feature here maybe had 10 cars. Dakota mods are pretty strong still. Yeah, but I'll be straight with you. A bunch of the attraction is that we didn't like the Hoosier tire, and they had an American Racer. We felt that a used-up American Racer was still a competitive tire versus having to buy a new Hoosier. And fast forward, I'll throw Brett under the bus here a little bit, but I said, because I heard the rumor we were going to go to Hoosier Tires, and I asked Brett, I said, Brett, remember, we left WISSOTA because of Hoosier Tire. And he said, it'd take a Herculean attempt for us to change. And he did. I'm around 2005-06 area. Because we as the board were very concerned about the price of tires, the price of racing, and all that stuff there. We thought that American Racer was way better for the world we live in, and I believe it was.
Yep.
And now you're back to Hoosiers.
And now we're back to Hoosiers. It's a spec tire. You can't
Got to
help
be
it,
almost
but
on Hoosiers now for 20 years, haven't we? In IMCA?
Yeah. I remember Wyatt was the first one bolted on the Hoosiers. He said, I got to get used to it. And probably had the first one that had success. He won a feature down in Mandan right away. But the rest of us were still using we could still use them, I think, till the middle of June type of deal, our American Racers. And I think that tire deal there, I mean, I know it's all bedded down and sleeping right now, but I think that matters in racing. And I think it really matters when we're asking questions.
Especially
right
if you look at Travis Hagen's Snapchat. Did you see that?
Yeah. Things like that were going on back then, too. It's just what I think. I thought the American Racer was a much better weekly racing tire. And we wonder why weekly racing sometimes shows less than favorable participation. At about 170 a tire, that's hard to add up.
All right, so we saw Cash Saxon drive the wheels off of it up in Estevan. There's no specific brand that you need to run on the hobbies. You can do whatever you want.
Yep. They're a DOT tire. Brandon, I think they're still in roughly the $75 range.
It depends on how much you want to pay. You can get them all the way from $70 up to $150.
Well, my point is,
most of you guys are on $75 tires.
I wouldn't spend more than $75, $80 max on a tire.
is there a competitor
Half
tire
price.
to Hoosier? You can't do it.
Not legally.
You can't, not legally.
Well, the American Racer still exists, although I think its price maybe has probably caught up. That's just the nature of capitalism. But again, back when we signed up, the American Racer tire gave you way more races. We thought that it was still a competitive tire half wore out, where you watch our A-Mod feature and all the bright, flashy white letters spinning around and around on those rims on the pace lap. I mean, everybody's tired up on the right side for sure, and probably the left rear too. 170 times 3, it's still that. 510. So
Why did they
That's an
lock it
effort.
down? Why does IMCA lock it down where you have to have the Hoosiers? Don't you think a little competition would be good and fun?
Well, yeah, I mean, that's certainly the debate to the question.
Tire competition can get expensive as well, though.
Yeah, you see it in other series. So then it's the racer gets yet another choice that some will never figure out. Is tonight a Hoosier tire night or an American Racer night? The fast guys will know.
Well,
but
no.
you
What
won't.
will end up happening is Craig Heupel Tire Company is going to come in and create a tire that's superior, and they're going to charge $300 for it. And Jorn is going to buy Craig Heupel's tire and go out and win. Well, that's going to force everybody to get off the $160 tire onto the $300 tire like that.
Yeah.
That's where it gets sticky with creating tire competition. Hobby stocks get away with it because you're running a DOT tire. So no DOT company or no tire manufacturing company that makes a DOT tire is making a tire for an IMCA hobby stock for the purpose of racing.
For the purpose of racing, but let's just stop at that point where you're at. Why don't we have hobby stock tires on everything then? I mean, really, at the end of the day,
Let's do it.
It's all the same. That's the point I'm making, and I think that's where Craig was going.
Yep.
But yeah, so Brandon's right. So let's stay in the DOT market because they have to stay competitive. They can't zero in on the racing crowd and inflate the price.
Right.
They have to stay competitive with the transportation market. That's a different deal. So, but yeah, then we don't have to worry about motor sizes and stuff either because everything comes down because you only got so much tires. So, but. At any rate.
But as Cody
Late,
Schultz
long
said,
nights.
there's another Snapchat from Travis Hagen. Speak of the devil. His Snapchat the other day showed a delaminated tire, and that means the tread actually came off of the tire. You still have the tire.
It's
it
almost
still
like
holds,
a cap.
Yeah, it still holds air. The tires
like a retread.
Yep.
Yes.
Like the
like a
retread. The tread comes off.
Yeah.
And
Snap wasn't about tires. Kids are on go-karts.
oh, okay. Well, in his Snapchat that he put out there and Hoosier they just got notice that the price of tires is increasing by 6%.
6% on July 7th. So,
Just in time for the tour.
yeah, you're
Yep.
right. Here we go. Yeah. Oh, gosh. You're on your knees, and now they whack you on the head with a frying pan. So,
but the tire can't stay together, and that was not a racetrack at the Nodak Speedway that would burn up a tire.
That would burn up a tire. Yeah, I had the same assessment, is that sometimes when you groove them deep like that and you get on something with rubber, it peels them off. TBJ was mad about that in his past. And my answer to that was, don't cut them up when you're going to be dry and get rubber. But that wasn't Travis's case at all. So that's actually what my tires sort of look like in Estevan. I got a right rear flat, but I'll blame that on a previous Enduro. I think I caught some metal, maybe even off that Sport Mod crash. Mine looked more cut, but nonetheless, it kind of delaminated a chunk out of it too. So, but I drove it flat all the way to the trailer. So, but yes, that's a real deal. I mean, Craig, you as the ultimate fan, I mean, you want to see 20-car fields, and when they turn into 9, 10, 11 cars, you want to know why. And as I say, we're into the second credit card payment of the year now. You didn't make the first one, and now you added, you doubled it. Honey, I need some tires. No, you don't. You ain't getting any. Tires, right? Right. So, yeah. So, I mean, racing's expensive. It always has been. Somebody always tells me that, and they're right. I mean, it's always. But if we had hobby stock tires on and we were, shoeing a car for $300,
it's too bad you couldn't make some sort of competition between tire manufacturers, make them stay within a, inside a box, inside a box.
Yeah.
With the manufacturing of their tires to have like a hobby stock reality in the higher classes. There's just not. You just can't, because as soon as competition gets involved, shit goes sideways.
Well, that we see it in the modified. I mean, on other pieces, but if somebody's got the trick bird cage of the week, well 16 cars have got to get it. Shocks. That might be the greatest deal. I'm sure there's teams right here in North Dakota, the shocks they bought in the spring and won on aren't fast enough right now.
And they spent another $1,500 to $2,000 on shocks to win right now.
Yeah, that's not counting wrecking any. And the tour is coming up. How fast do you want to go? Well, I want to go as fast as I can. We need another $10,000 to get ready.
Yeah.
I mean, you're gonna, So,
but and for those of you out there wondering that don't ever have a race car, you like yourself, Craig, you don't have a car, you've never had the expense of a race car, and when you go into something like the Mod Tour, or you go into something like the Tougher Than Dirt Tour, or even a weekly show, you ask the question, why is there only 10 mods on championship night, or 11 mods? Shit's expensive. And the economy right now, is it bad? No. You're at the grocery store.
Mm-hmm.
You know how expensive things are.
Go easy on me.
It's not your fault. I'm just.
Yeah, it's just the world we live in.
It's the reality of the world. Mm-hmm. It's no different than taking your vehicle to a repair shop. The hourly rate to get your vehicle work done nowadays, you have to make choices.
Back in Yellow Camaro days, it was $30 an hour.
And now it's over
$130 an hour.
it's $130 an hour. So you're sitting
that's
there.
Just life.
You're sitting there trying to make choices. You're trying to decide, do I want to spend – it's going to take 6 hours for the repair shop to fix my car. They're going to charge me whatever, $1,000 with parts. Or I can buy tires and go racing on the Mod Tour and spend $10,000. Mm-hmm. Trust me, there's guys that come up for the Mod Tour that have unlimited money. They come up and they're full-time racers. But you wonder why the locals don't go race it. You're wondering why a Brock Beater doesn't take his mod on the Mod Tour. I'm just using Brock as an example. Brock don't have the budget to do that.
No.
There's no budget in reality for him to compete with a Travis Hagen every single night of a Mod Tour. At best, Brock's going into it looking to be
a TBJ type. A
TBJ.
Get out of our own people.
Yeah.
Like I said, more or less a professional traveler. I'm not beating up
and
on
Ethan
Tom.
Broxma.
And they have that presentation. They have the backing, and they're able to have the Monday morning meeting that's says, hey, we need to budget $8,500 for tires on this tour. Okay, what's the next thing we got to do? Well, I was out on the first question. So we're running crate motors, and they're roughly $9,000, $10,000 now. Well, we need one in the car, and we should have two spares because it's 2,000 miles from where we live. So if we're going to do it, let's make sure we're deep enough to do this.
It's one of them deals.
It just keeps getting ready.
Does Dakota Trackside have motors with them on the tour?
I know
No.
Blaine, I think, used to carry one, but I don't know
I
that
have
Rob
no
has
idea.
one.
He
I would
has
say-
motors sitting up at the shop. I don't know if they're going to be with on the tour. I can't. I wouldn't know. I don't know that. What I'm trying to get at is for an average fan that sits out there and watches and sits in the grandstands on a Sunday night, and if you ever ask the question, why is the car count down, or why do we only have 13 hobbies, or why do we only have this, you need to understand that 75% of the racers at the pit area, in the pits, are everyday humans like yourself. They are getting up on Monday morning, tired as shit, going to work, and if they wrecked on Sunday night, they are sacrificing meals, not necessarily meals, they're sacrificing going out to eat with their kids. They're maybe cooking at home more than going out to eat. They're sacrificing things every week to make sure they have enough money to even be there.
Yeah.
And all it takes is one major life event, having 2 kids, having a second kid, and you got to start questioning.
I got my day job, but I need a babysitter. 10-5 for the first kid. I don't know what the second one is, but right.
Yeah, I mean, you catch what you.
So
I think Chad Strachan's a good example this year. His program's all in place. Didn't get wrecked a lot. Kept it clean.
Yep.
But last year he had the unfortunate of popping a motor.
broke a motor.
And he was waiting.
Didn't have the depth.
Yeah, didn't have a backup. Matt Hamilton, I was kind of frustrated with him all year last year, but he put a gem together, and you get what you pay for. And
Yeah, and he come back with the championship, so that was very rewarding. Brock's really in the middle of a Cinderella year.
Yeah.
And it's awesome. I'm just, many of us helping behind the scenes type of deal, make sure,
Stars
sure it's all
align
done right.
for what Brock is doing right now. And
But with that said, all drivers start out the year with that with that goal, and the reality is, after a point season at Nodak, you're looking around going,
Brandon, you're right.
I'm AK into my credit card here, and I need a break.
I was on my way to work,
So
and I wasn't paying attention. Curbed it. Blew the tire. This was like in early fall. Ruined my day. Got to go to Tires Plus. There's $300. Boom. Well, actually more than that, because you got to replace all the tires.
You're right.
But
Right,
you
that
guys,
ones are-
you go in the hot pit, and that's in the stands. There, change that tire. Get that thing tired. $200, $300. Boom, boom, boom.
and there's a false reality, and I'm not ripping on the race fan, but because the race fans are used to us and drivers and everybody being out there on the racetrack. They want to see cars on the racetrack. They're there to watch that. It's just, and probably the right people ain't even watching. Cody Shope says it best: families, money, time.
Yeah, he's enjoying his little girls. I mean, he races
For
in
Cody,
Estevan. Right.
Cody Shope, to see he races only Estevan because his family can be there. He can do it as a family, and it's the perfect schedule for him and what he can do.
And it's Saturday night.
And it's Saturday night.
It's not Monday morning. So right. So
it's just
that's Cody's balance.
Yep.
Yeah.
You got to have balance. Mark Pearson comments, kids and illness, everything derails your plans for racing. Mark Pearson was a racer.
They chased some illness
a few years ago.
But the racing community, they always try and go and get that starter class where it's budget, sport compacts maybe now, but then the hobby class, you guys take it to a level. Legends. Oh, it's easy to get into that. You see what those legend guys do? Backup motors. Forget it. Backup cars.
3-4
deep. Yeah.
I know.
Competition.
Scotty always called it wrench creep.
There you go.
He goes,
wrench
creep.
creep.
You race car drivers can't leave them alone, and he's right. It's the nature of competition. You're looking for more all the time, and you need the depth to continue.
Competition creates expense.
I think
in my finest days, I used to say, if I'm not in the hospital, I will be racing.
I like
that
it.
prepared. I was that.
Yeah.
If I'm not in the hospital, I will be at the races.
So those tires.
That was my favorite line, and I meant it.
Why do they let you manipulate them so much? Why do they let you cut them and grind them?
That was another thing. I mean, I hate to go down this rabbit hole. It's more of a wintertime topic maybe, but maybe not, because I think the price of tires is absurd even in a world of expensive racing. I think it's just too much, and they're going up. That does nothing good for where we're at. Yes, Craig, we used to be able to groove the Hoosiers on the Wasota mods in the 90s. And then, again, the attraction to that American Racer was it was a no-touch deal. I'm telling you what, if you went out in the pavement and did a figure eight and it looked like you put a sandpaper disc to it, the tech inspector could maybe kick you out. Mike Coughlin looked for that stuff. And if it looked like you had scratched your wheel with any kind of grinder that everybody uses now, there's $4,000 and $5,000 tire prep stands that are set up next to everybody's trailer prepping tires for the next race. I mean, we eliminated all that at least for a while. You can't eliminate it forever, I get it, but we did eliminate it for a while. The IMCA was an American racer, untouched, and there was no stagger in it, there was no nothing. We would take wore-out tires and put them on the left just to get a half an inch of stagger in our minds. That was, we were chasing stagger, whatever we were doing there. But my point is, if it got all feathered up from last night, you could flip it, but that's all you could do. So, and with that said, not only tires are expensive, but they're time-consuming. So when you're prepping them like we're talking, you're grinding them, you're flipping them, you're whatever. I think every competitive crew is spending at least 2 nights between weekends on tires alone.
Here's another thing
or more.
That's
too much.
That I noticed Sunday night. And you say this all the time, Jordan, and I don't know exactly how you say it, but if you aren't a mechanic, a race will make you a mechanic. It was kind of what you always say. So I'm in the pits, waiting for, Steven and Drew to come out of the tech area. They got their valve covers off. They're pumping them down. They're messing with rocker arms. Yuck.
Well, that's a great segue to the next deal. So, okay. So what was going on there? Well, I don't know for sure in the mods, but I believe that they were looking for cubic inch, making sure crate motors are 350 Chevys, not 383s or whatever, 400s, whatever they might be. So, and we demand teching because we don't want to be beat by big motors or whatever. So, Brandon's brother Brock. So Brock went through the same deal. Everybody passed tech, at least to the best of my knowledge. So, but Brock found out we weren't doing the Dirt Weekly last night, doing it tonight. So he called me up. He said, "Hey, I took 2 valves off." He said, "Can you come out and set my valves?"
Yeah.
So that's Brock and I's friendship there. And I did because we're doing this tonight. But my point is, Brock was, I think he could have got it done, but he was just unsure, and it was time to do it anyway, so we just all did it last night. But I've gotten into some of those situations where guys are like Robbie, he'll say, "Jordan, come to tech with me." I don't know what they want.
Agreed.
So I'm like, well, what happens when me and Steven aren't around anymore? I don't know. and then Adam, one time we pulled heads off and Estevan off stalkers. The 3 of us just happened to be mechanical. I remember when when we pulled heads off or whatever, and I told Davey, I said, I think if you picked any 3 other people, you'd have had us 3 in here helping them.
Yeah,
they could have got the job done.
So what if you finished second and they said pull your valve covers off and you didn't know how to do it? Then what happens?
Yeah,
well, it would be considered almost a refusal.
Almost a refusal because
and you'd be done. You'd be.
I mean, if ultimately you couldn't find somebody that you believe could perform what was going on, I'm with Brandon. It'd probably be a refusal, and it'd be a refusal just because you just didn't know any better. I mean, again, we talk about like we're on the tire battle right now, but I mean, on long cold winters, you want to concentrate on a division of the car. I don't like the price of shocks, okay, but nonetheless, the harder you beat on it, almost the more rope you give the guys with money. Yep. It just seemingly takes out the casual player or the blue collar worker. I don't know how else to say it. So like I say, sometimes when guys that don't look like they should maybe be doing so good or doing good, there's a lot of rah-rah going on for the underdog factor. So, and we're going to really enjoy that at the tour because there will be some players here.
Yes.
And we want every one of our locals being at their best.
But some of the locals don't even race the tour.
Yeah.
They don't even come out because they don't have the program to compete with them. So I'll just stay home and watch.
Not to be about me, but I've had great success on the tour. I can't even fathom going on the tour.
Zach Heiderbrink wants to know if we've talked about claiming. We have not talked about claiming.
They had a little skit there with Loft, but we could go there. But
I don't think our world up here, Zach. Our viewership doesn't even.
Yeah, we ain't got much of them left. But in the '90s, we were the claim capital of America, so our shirt said.
We've had 2009. We had 2 claims. A handful of years ago, we had somebody claim a carburetor in a hobby stock. And then 2 years ago, was it, that Eric Laudenschlager got claimed in the sport mod and he refused it?
Took the 30-day
and $1,000. We don't really touch on claiming a whole bunch up here.
Yeah. It was a way of life in the 90s.
The last 2 successful motor swapping engine claims at the Nodak Speedway were Brock and Brandon Beater. So,
what year was that again?
2009. I've been
Look at you just spit that out.
I know exactly what it was. And the frustrating part is maybe that guy's watching. You mentioned the last name of the guy earlier. I'm not going to say who the first name is. The son of a bitch doesn't even race anymore, and he didn't race after that year. That's what makes me mad. But
God.
I'm over it.
I mentioned it.
No, it's for after the show. I'm not going to say names.
He's not over it. Who's kidding who? He's almost mad.
You want to know how much it hurts to get claimed?
Jordan, 16 years later.
16 years later.
I told you he was punchy tonight.
I lost 3. I'm over it. They weren't even trades.
Yeah, Cody Shope goes, remember the days of the carb wheel? Wheel of Fortune?
Yeah, wheel of misfortune.
Wheel of misfortune in the stock cars.
All right. So between you two
Mods.
guys, all of your experience.
Exactly.
You
Cody.
got the car. Take the driver out of it because you've been very well said about the driver's talents. Mm-hmm. What do you, if there's number one, what's the most important thing on a race car that you want to be at the best? Shocks, tires, motor, chassis. What is, you would say, is the heartbeat?
Yeah. Well, getting around corners fast, so I would say we're probably going to lean towards tires and shocks. That would be probably the area I would go. Besides a decent setup, I mean.
In my experience of last year at the Dakota Speedway for Oktoberfest, a carburetor is important to me.
Well, that's because yours didn't work at all. I mean, given the fact that they work, yours is spitting and sputtering, and that didn't even have a fighting chance. So.
Well, no, it ran good. It just didn't have pull.
It didn't RPM.
Yeah, it didn't RPM up. But it ran good at an idle, and it timed out good, and you know,
that
all
was just a carb change. You flipped carbs.
Took carburetor off. Well, we changed distributor, we changed plug wires, we changed all this stuff, and then I go out for whatever I go out again, and it still didn't make it any better, and it didn't have a miss in it. It just didn't pull the straightaway. It just didn't pull. You know, just didn't have the pull down the straightaway.
The end of that RPM.
Take carburetor off, put new carburetor on, different car.
And I know motors aren't big to you because you'll grab a crate that's 10 years old and go running with it.
Well, we even went through our rundown tonight. I mean, we're looking at cars that are hunched over and all that. That's not a motor deal. That's shocks
setup.
and tires.
That's setup deal.
So, cars that
Cody says tires.
Yeah.
I think tires are super important, but I firmly believe whether it's carburetor or not, the most important thing, and you're seeing it in Brock Beater right now, I'm going to use him as an example, the car and the driver have to be comfortable with one another.
You know what?
That's plain and simple. You can have the biggest motor, you can have the best carburetor, you can have the best tires. If that car and that driver are not comfortable, you got nothing.
Kyler Satcher.
Am I right?
Yeah.
Kyler going back into his
Jules.
old car, Jules.
Yeah.
Perfect example.
You know that they worked hard on it in between the times they didn't like it. So, I mean, it was no lack of preparation. Right. So,
Travis Hagen, his car, it ain't broke. Drive it.
Yeah.
Steven.
Yeah.
He's got a brand new car.
New one. It's going to be new next spring, as we say.
Jordan.
That's what Steven and I say. There will be new in the spring, too. So, right. Give us another winter to get them fixed up.
Cody is a good example. The combination of Cody, his car, I don't care what tires he puts on it. When he shows up to the Estevan Motor Speedway, you know what you're going to get out of Cody.
Yeah, you're going to get a competitive racer because he's got the notes and he's got the preparation and he's good there. So, what was it, Cody? A couple years ago, I mean, you wailed on him at the tour. You put a straightaway on him.
I'm sure he had new tires on. He'll probably say, I had new tires on, I had this and that, whatever.
Well, so did everybody else.
So did everybody else.
Yeah. He was just keeping up with the ante, as I call it.
Tom Berry
How
Jr.
high is the ante to play the game?
He won last year in Estevan, and he took a picture of his tire.
Yeah, he was blistering. He was popping off.
A lap or two, and it was over.
Right.
Yeah.
And Broxman's winning that thing.
He got criticized for that. I'm going to touch on some of that was going on. And I'm going to agree with this to at least a level. I thought it was getting grooved too deep.
Right.
It got into what we were calling the retread, the cap, if you will, And I think, when you get it that deep, you give it a place to start pulling on it. So I don't know if Tom agrees with that, but looking at
grooving on it.
Yeah, we can groove in sipe, but it doesn't tell you how deep you can go. You can go as deep as you want.
See, that's where Hoosier would. I'm sure they're like, dude, you're giving us a bad name by digging on it.
Yeah, we got your money. I don't care what you do with the tire, but nonetheless, that's my opinion, and that was the opinion of others too. I thought maybe it was grooved too deep, and it gave it too much of a starting spot to get it pulling off the carcass. That's what I think. I think Tom would not, to put it in different words, I don't think Tom would have had any tire problems had he not touched them. How about that? Maybe it wouldn't have been as fast, but he would not have had tire problems. So there's a balance there. That's what I think.
Yep.
So.
Boy, we went down some rabbit holes.
Wow.
You got me fired up about claiming. Zach Heidebrink, and you're coming up here next week.
He's not mad.
I'm over it.
Yeah, he's coming up next week. Hey, I'm not racing the Tour, but I'll hang around at the truck stop if you want to talk some more. Right. Oh, my. Well, back in John's days, here we go again. Yep.
Oh,
that was fun.
Fear the Rear making moves. What do we got?
Fear the Rear. For me, the Devin Gonis tribute memory deal.
That's a good one.
Just the emotions were real, and they're actually still quite raw. Love to the family. Just such a tough event to go through. It was nice to celebrate as racers with racers. Dennis, Lori, Dylan. Everybody was very appreciative of everybody that was there. Love to them.
Very nicely said. And I feel bad about saying this, so I don't want to, say too much, but congratulations to the 11P on the Modified Championship. Kyler Strachan on the hobby. Will Shareski on the stock. And Chad Strachan in the sport mod. I mean, come on now.
What a hog.
He had all four.
What a hog. Yeah, 4 of the 5.
4 of the 5 champions.
Golly. The commish, I think he's listening. He's down in St. Louis, PBR. I think Craig has to miss like the first 2 rounds. I mean, we've got to even out the score here. He put a 270 on us here, so.
We'll bring them up later.
Were we still planning to pick a late model driver tonight?
That's the plan. We don't have Smalls here, but
he could text it, or maybe Isaac picks.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think we're going to be able to put all that together in a short period of time. Once again, phone not hooked up.
Yeah, but we can text Isaac. Yeah. The last I saw, he was on a mechanical bull. That's what I saw. I don't know what you guys were looking at.
I don't know if you caught the snaps on the hot dog eating contest.
Do you even have Snapchat yet?
I don't. I told you.
You need your engine claimed.
You
don't have that either.
The last time I signed up for it, our office manager's daughter in UND said I sent her a request, and that's creepy. And I have no idea how that would happen.
So you deleted it right away?
I did, because she said, "Is there a problem?" I'm like, I don't know how that happened.
There could be. How did I get here?
The problem is they get a request confused with a contact. So when you sign up, it automatically pulls your phone number and it says, "Hey, your contact Craig Rudland now has Snapchat." You don't friend request them, but it just notifies them, and people take that as a request, and it's not a request. It just says your friend or your contact
They're
has
just
Snapchat.
matching you up with possibles, huh?
Right?
Because Jordan,
I'm saying I'm accepting everybody under the sun. Heck, I thought it was invites.
Because Jordan and I, we still think we're cool, we're hip, But I guess at 54, a college girl getting a request, that's just kind of creepy, I guess.
It is. You got to be careful.
I'm out.
You got to be careful.
Well, I think I'm out. I don't know. I just say yes to everything.
Just say yes to everything.
What was your fear of the rear?
That Cash Saxon slide job.
Yeah, that's pretty good. That's pretty good.
Yes.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
I threw it out there earlier. Cash Saxon slide job.
Yeah.
Or
well
Nodak
played.
Speedway making everything look pretty down there. They're down there working again tonight for the World of Outlaws.
They're
this
pushing
weekend.
hard.
Yeah. Smallsy wants it to look nice, and he's digging in and doing the hard work.
And he's
I told him I
feeding people.
appreciate that. And
him and Robbie, they're forever calling saying, we need more food. We need more food. We need more water. We want this. We want that one. Yeah, and they're getting.
Do you guys have a delivery service going down there or what?
Robbie's coming on Sunday. Yep, we're going to have the water's all chilled down. Buns are cooking.
Getting ready for the pulled pork?
Potato salad.
I was hoping
Max
Smallsy
Allen.
would be here tonight. I need to get my ticket. Actually, I need to get 3, so I was armed for that.
That's the only thing I don't know what's going down is the pulled pork, where that's coming from. So maybe that's you. Are you doing that?
That is not me.
Huh. I got nothing.
Craig, no way in hell do I have time to fit smoking pulled pork
There was
into
a
my
time,
life.
just not this time. Okay. Uh-huh. Well, the accusation ain't wrong. It's just wrong this year.
I'm getting up. Jenny and I have a hotel room Friday night, Saturday night. I'm going to sleep before driving home Saturday night and drive home Sunday morning. So
Fergus Falls tonight. We're supposed to have the World of Outlaw late models tonight.
yeah, and I was going to have it on while we were sitting here, but it got rained out.
So that would be a huge,
Give us
a nightmare for Smalls and Robbie, what they're putting together to have ours rain out on Sunday. Wouldn't that just be a buzzkill?
Oh, yeah.
Weather's the ultimate card, man. And with that said, we got probably the most perfect forecast for Minot on Sunday. Between now and then, not so great. But then,
knock on wood.
Yeah. Right.
So does Fergus Falls owe the World of Outlaw late models anything tonight?
I cannot tell you that. I don't know. I have no idea.
Usually there's clauses in contracts for rain and stuff like that. Sometimes you buy insurance. I'm not sure. So,
I have no idea.
but it is canceled, not postponed. I think last year that happened, and they came back and got it on the way out. I thought one of those tracks, Ada, maybe. I'm not sure.
I think it was, yeah.
Maybe it was Ada.
No, Grand Forks.
It was Grand Forks?
Yep.
They missed
So
it.
now
They
they'll
missed
be
it coming around the horn. They got it going back out. So
They'll be in Grand Forks tomorrow night.
tomorrow.
You know what I think that the current group Nodak is doing is tying in with Amelia and Layla and Donnie and getting that Shots name attached to this event because he's a draw.
Oh,
Yep.
for sure.
He's a big draw.
Well, we wish we could get Donnie on top of that. Yeah. In the boardroom, that would be that'd be about 800 tickets.
I don't want to speak rumors. I mean, I hate rumors. I hate saying shit like this. But there is that rumor that he might be coming and maybe driving a backup car. I heard the rumor.
Spread that rumor. That's cool.
Even just a rumor is worth 500.
What about the rumor of Aaron Turnbull driving a Barnhart late model? That was going for a while.
Well, actually, I didn't. I did not communicate with Steven. But Steven, after last week's show, remember we were teasing Dylan.
Yep.
Dylan was saying, "Hey, get a hold of me." Steven, the next day, "Hey, is this Dilly's phone number?" I assured him it was. I give him it is with exclamation marks, and I never followed up. So we could have a Dilly Pfeiffer mobile maybe cooking.
Let's keep spinning these rumors.
You better spin up 11P there. Let's give 11P a little text, see what's cooking. See if we got something cooking up there. Because there was Steven was checking in, just make sure he had Dilly's phone number, and I assured him that he did have the correct number.
Well, Dylan commented up here earlier, said he just got off 8 nights in a row.
Well, he shared with Steven that he was going to have 6. Yeah, he was going to have 6 days off going into this thing. So
just got
but
off
it's Thursday.
Just got done 7 12s, 84-hour week.
You didn't say he had a late model in the garage, though, huh? Well,
Right.
I'm throwing it out there. They might have communicated. The phone numbers were correct. You checking in? See what 11P is doing? Yeah. I'm not sure.
Oh, I got his number. We can call.
Right.
Dylan said he got the call, but it won't be ready for this Sunday.
What's it take?
Okay. Yeah.
Probably not us sitting here doing the Dirt Weekly.
Talking about it. Yeah. There's 2 days. Dilly, I've seen you do a lot in one, so. Well, like I say, we threw it out there, and it kind of, the fish bit a little bit, so.
So this Bobby Pierce.
Yeah.
Should we let me roll the
Got a little.
Texas Red.
Yeah,
Now we're back.
Okay, so the 4th of July is a week from tomorrow. Now, the saying is knee-high corn on the 4th of July. I'm going to have a couple of players. I don't know that I'll have the whole 5 lots, but yeah.
There was a Facebook photo
Texas
out
Red
there.
is moving.
There was a Facebook photo out there somewhere. Somebody said knee-high by the 4th of July, and it was up to their waist.
Ooh, I'm watering mine. I'm not even to the knee yet, but 8 days. Not all of them will be knee-high, but
you need some heat,
past.
don't you? Isn't that what gets
some
them things to
sunlight
go?
would be nice.
You need a fire extinguisher filled with anhydrous and shoot that stuff.
Yeah, actually, Jeff, give me a little pointer there to get some fertilizer going on there, and I just haven't gotten that done yet. But yeah, he said sprinkle it around like a light snow, not a snow drift.
The Beebs was in Nodak on Sunday.
That's where I got the information. So I still haven't done nothing with it. So, but he says it's time. So
I have not made it down there yet, or made it down. I did not make it down to see Beebs.
Right. So I got his satellite east. I got to make him look good here.
Folks want corn. We got it on sale right now.
You already got it.
Well, not local, but I'm telling you, they're buying it. They're loving it. Mm-hmm. They're feeling it like you. They won't.
I'm a corn on the cob guy, man.
Yeah. We don't get local grown until August. So yeah.
Dylan said they're going to have it ready for the Gov Cup.
Ah. Well, heck. Good job, Dilly. Good job, Steven. Heck yeah.
Well, what about Wayne Johnson? He's got one laying around somewhere.
Nope. I don't think there's any left. No.
Nope.
Robert Hellebust?
Nope. That would be a good question.
Smokin' Hank has one.
Nope.
No. Smokin' Hank has a modified, and he is going on tour.
I believe that's his BMS, though,
yeah,
right?
and it is the BMS car. It is that, yeah. He had a mod and a late model for sale. I think that they sold. I don't think he had. I think both those
Bruce
are done.
King has the modified.
Yeah, the modified that Bruce drives is one of Hank's cars. The yellow and blue is still somewhat of his theme. So, but yeah, so Hank's going on the tour, kind of jumping all over the place. But I think Hank's the only one that's been on it since day one,
and
that's
the
impressive.
Most winningest driver.
Yeah, he got 4. Yep, he's got 4.
And that seems low to me too.
Well, I'll tell you what's even stranger is he got his 4 after I got my 3. That's what's strange. Hank didn't leave much meat on the bones for any of us. So
that just goes to show you how hard it is to win any of this stuff.
Yeah.
Doing it for as long as Hank's been doing it.
Yeah, Hank won all. My last one was in 2001, so his are all after that. And Hank and I are 7 years apart. He's older, so yeah, whatever that means. But that's exciting for late models at the Governor's Cup. So we got a Dilly Steven deal going on. That's cool.
That's fun.
Yeah. Yes.
So this weekend schedule, obviously no racing tonight because we're sitting here.
Thursday.
Friday night, Dakota Speedway is still on as of right now, even though with the chance of rain, storm tomorrow.
Other warnings are...
They're going through Facebook like wildfire. Have you seen it?
Yeah, I did.
Southern half of the state is supposed to get hit.
The last time we spoke, I talked about Sean Strand winning 2 in a row, but Spencer Wilson got one right. I went back and rewatched it, and Spencer got a win. So he's getting his program back up in action, too. That's good to see, especially because he's been giving us some love, too, coming here. I like that.
Yep.
Yeah. Spencer's
Class of
been here,
89.
Only? Well, 80-something.
You do know that your stock car driver, Brock Beater, was born in 88, right? And I'm guessing Will Shareski's younger than Brock. If I had to
Will's
bet.
only like 26, 7 years old.
Oh, yeah, you're
Like I said,
Will's
Jordan
barely
and
older
I,
than Mindy.
we're still cool and hip.
Yeah. It's hard to tell.
But you weren't
It's hard to
singing
tell we're as
earlier.
old as we are.
She tried to hide it back.
Hey, Ben did a great walk around on
Oh,
the
yeah,
car.
he did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He overhyped it, and it got national treasure or whatever, but it was cool. he had it all going on. So.
Well, that was a topic of conversation. We need to move on to upcoming schedule. We're still Dakota Speedway Friday night.
Okay.
Williston Basin Speedway, 2 nights of the fair. Upper Missouri Valley
County Fair. 6 o'clock both nights.
6 o'clock both nights. Speaking of that, remind me before we leave, I got to go update the broadcast because I still have it listed as 7.
7.
I'll get in trouble if I have it listed as 7 and we start at 6.
Where's the heat races? They're over. Right.
And that's how fast the heat races go.
Yeah, they're 1 hour in Williston. Jerry and I have timed them many times. Start later.
So Williston Basin Speedway, Friday, Saturday, 6 p.m. both nights. Dakota Speedway Friday. What else we got Saturday?
Dickinson.
Dickinson. Southwest Speedway,
And maybe
Dickinson.
even a little Devil's Lake. if you're going to go that way.
Yep, Devil's Lake is sure is racing. Jamestown's probably racing. Mm-hmm. A lot of good racing. And then Sunday night,
the late models.
World of Outlaw late models.
Ryan Gustin.
Bobby Pierce. I heard a B Shep maybe making his way up here. Brandon Shepard.
Yeah, I'm understanding 17, the top 17 in points. Nick Hoffman, big wheel out of North Carolina. So
yep,
the ladies.
Good stuff. Yeah,
Amelia, Layla, Eisenshanks, both will be here.
The nieces, yeah. So
whoever we get out of Grand Forks. I don't know any names coming from Grand Forks, but there's always a handful that'll travel over.
Grand Forks have got fast race cars. So
Strand, that does
Dustin Strand,
yeah, Brian's son. Mm-hmm. Might remember Brian, his dad, when he was from Brockett, North Dakota, called himself the Brockett Rocket. That's a great nickname.
Yeah.
The Brockett Rocket. Brian was fast. Yes, very. Probably still is. He just doesn't drive. So.
I believe the cookout, the feed is from 2 to 4 on Sunday.
Yeah, that's what I'm remembering. So. Mm-hmm.
And then the show, we start with the ribbon cutting at 6 p.m. Christy Roselli has got the powers that be together that are doing a big welcome back to North Dakota since 1989 to the World of Outlaw late models, and doing a big ribbon cutting ceremony down in front of the grandstands. That's at 6, and then opening ceremonies, I believe, will be after hot laps and qualifying, and that hot laps and qualifying gets started at 6:15, I think.
We were banging around there in the 80s there, so let me reflect back to being at that 1989 show, alive and well, and old.
Freshly graduated.
Me. Well, I graduated in 82, so I was already middle-aged.
He graduated the year I was born.
I was already middle-aged. But anyway, Don Hofeld came over and put on the show, and all the wheels were here. Billy Moyer Jr., I can't remember all the wheels back then, but because he still races. But when the dust settled, it was Rick Auckland and Mitch Johnson, 2 guys out of Fargo. The nation's best were here. The Freddie Smiths or whatever. I can't remember all the names.
That feels good to me. And I recognize those names.
And the race came down to those 2, and it was a good race. Now, Mitch had retired for a little while, but Mitch has been back racing and has won a race at Ada in a late model. Yep. He might have won one in Grand Forks, too, this year already.
Rick Auckland, I'm thinking Pabst Blue Ribbon on the side,
yes.
number 12.
Yeah, that's the guy. So he's won the Show Me, I think, 4 times, a Missouri race, and I would say in the late 90s, Rick Auckland was considered the number 1 late model driver in the country for, I would say, 2 years for sure. Been in the top 5 for a number of years around those years. Of course, Father Time's taken him to wherever he's at now. But at any rate, North Dakota has produced some wheels. Then, now, in the future. So, yeah. So, at any rate, I was at that race. It was cool.
I'm guessing I was there.
Parked out where the...
I don't remember
all 2 years of you?
Hey,
no, you'd been 7.
Defended in 1982 and 1989. So, we got to live, experience, and love the 80s.
Yeah.
That's a gift.
Yeah. Poison was on the radio.
I got to grow up in the 80s.
So was Def Leppard. So was Motley Crue. I got to go find Hairball now to listen to them, but it's all the same. It's still good. Yeah, that was 1989. I actually thought it was 88, so yeah, see, time does that to you. So, yeah, Don Hofeld from Williston, Triangle Electric. He promoted it. It was a good time.
So, yeah, Sunday, Jordan and I on the call.
Sweet.
For our modifieds.
For the modifieds.
Yeah.
And then Ruben Morales will have the late model call.
We'll stare at him and get some highlight moves.
Yeah.
So if you're a mod driver, does it interest you to come race Nodak just to be in that environment?
Absolutely.
That's what I would do it for. Fame and lack of fortune. So, right. Yeah, just because it's a big event, for sure.
What about this? Is there an opportunity to be seen and get a ride in a? Is that stuff real? I mean, if you,
I would say probably not. Nobody's going to come up here and see Stephen Pfeiffer wax everybody in a modified and give him a ride.
Yeah.
I think them days you got it.
You put that in a picture pretty quick.
Me? Me?
Yeah, you put that in a picture pretty quick there. Holy cow! I followed right along. I'm like, yeah, you're probably right, but God, you could have sold a little time on that. That was a 3-second.
I'm a realist, dude. I'm not even mad about getting claimed anymore in 2009.
The heck you ain't. See, we circled back around. I forgot about that. Yeah.
No, let's be honest. Yeah. These rides that you maybe want to get, you got to bring money to the table nowadays. Yeah. If you're not bringing money to the table, there's no ride for you.
We talked about that they budget, X amount of tires on it. There's going to be teams that are budget well past $20,000 for this tour.
And you're sacrificing your life. You're sacrificing, not life as in I'm going to die. You're sacrificing, for Stephen Pfeiffer to get a ride, he's sacrificing Karen, the farm, Slato, Aislinn.
You say from the raw speed and danger?
No, sacrificing time.
Okay, what about this then? What about the phenom?
I didn't mean death life. Yeah. I just said life.
Yeah.
If Gabe were driving an A-Mod, just embarking on his adult career, and someone saw him, why wouldn't you want to say, hey, Gabe, you got something there, let's go?
It's still going to take money. Because there's nobody out there with a car that is super ultra competitive looking for a driver, an unproven driver in a late model. You got to go prove yourself in a late model somewhere to get that.
On your own money.
On your own money. Yeah. Or a lower level late model. Whatever. You got to take a C late model, a speed C late model, and put it up and race with the Bs and the As in order to get noticed.
And be making moves.
Ricky Thornton Jr., when he first moved into a late model or started running late model, he wasn't in the top tier equipment. And then he started taking that lower tier equipment, racing with the top tier, while somebody goes, get that guy a better car, and he'll win everything.
That car, and nobody's gotten in the top 10. He's got fourth.
Yeah.
And he's done it 3 nights in a row. I want to know more.
Ethan Dotson is another one. Ethan Dotson should be a name. He got into a lower tier car, started making it work. Now
is he a name coming this weekend?
Yeah, he is a name coming this weekend. That is a name you will recognize.
That'll be fun. Yeah, we know him from the tour. So
California boy.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Number one? I think number one.
But it takes a long 174. So. 174.
Okay.
It's usually a big one
with a big one, yeah.
With a 74 in it, or a big 74 with a little one.
I remember with the big one. Mm-hmm. Good question.
Hugh Banks says that's not true. Jimmy Owens, that had to be 20 years ago. Jimmy Owens is not a young man anymore.
Yeah. I parked within 2 cars of Jimmy Owens when I raced in Texas. He was in a modified. He was kind of a regular Joe there, but I would say, Brian, I would probably kind of parallel Jimmy with kind of an RTJ deal, though. I mean, he had some decent talent for sure, but I don't know.
You have to, more than just winning a modified race is what I'm saying. More than showing up. You're showing up on this Sunday, for the chance to race in front of 4,000 people, because you will never have that chance again. You won't have that chance very
stardom
often.
Is that maybe there's somebody in the stands that says, I like the way he races. I like that cool green car. I want to get involved with him financially.
I want to get involved. I want to go down. That green car down there that just won tonight. Honey, let's go down and talk to him. And pretty soon you leave with a new sticker on the side of your car.
That's how Jack Eldon got involved with Jack Hodenshield. That's exactly how it happened. He was in the stands. He goes, how do you meet these guys? They said, we just go down and walk down there. They'll be standing by their car. That's probably been the best what the heck marriage ever. So, yeah.
And I'm not saying it doesn't happen, but pure talent alone is not getting you there.
I would say guys that are good are probably talking to people that they need to talk to.
And unfortunately, nobody from North Dakota has the connections needed to get to that level at this point.
Who was that guy that was driving around that NDSU car in ARC?
Bryce Haugeberg?
Yeah.
It was a Haugeberg or something, wasn't it?
What was the connection there?
I'm not 100% sure.
That makes you scratch your head a little bit, but because I think North Dakota's got good enough drivers, but like you say, getting the right exposure and all that, I would imagine the lines are long.
Do we have 4,000 people checked in? Hell no. Ooh. But we're hoping for 4,000 people.
Weather's going to be good?
Well, the elephant in the room on the whole 4,000 deal, I mean, we've talked about this, but I'm going to talk about it. There's no difference in price if you buy today or Sunday. So you're going to chase the weather card. Although I want to buy, I know the weather is good now. I'm confident enough in the weather. I want to buy my tickets now because I don't want to wait in line for 3 hours. But that would be the deal on a low ticket sale. Not lack of a show, but why get invested? I didn't want to buy a $40 ticket 2 months ago and then the thing gets rained out and then I got to go get a refund because I'm not good at that.
But I think that's what Robbie and Smalls are adding, that dinner and the pit pass included in the $40.
Oh, if you get a pre-ticket.
If you buy it advance.
Yeah, and I think they're planning for 500 to 600 to be down there eating.
Mm-hmm. I got to find Robbie then, because Smalls. I was going to buy mine. I said I'm going to get 3, so I got to find.
Yes, we want more than 4,000. We want 7,000.
Yeah.
But
because we can fit them.
We can put them everywhere. Mm-hmm. I'll put them in the booth if we run out of room. I don't care.
Yeah. I mean, again, these shows come and be there. That's the message. Be there.
If we
$40 tickets, is that high? I don't think it's high for what you're going to see.
We only have 40 viewers, but there'll be another 100 or 2 or maybe 5 or 6. Who knows that watch it later.
Yeah.
But if you're listening to this and you're on the fence, I know $40 is an intimidating price to go there. Family of 4 is going to be $160.
200 before you get out of there. You're going to buy pop, but
and then you're going to go buy a shirt. It might be a $500 night by the time you're all said and done. By the time you buy food and drinks and apparel and a toy for the kids and whatever. But if we don't support events like this, they're not coming here.
Right. And
well, I mean, we're reflecting on the last time we were here was 1989. I'm the only one that remembers it. I mean, that's how much time passes, so don't let it happen.
And you hear, I've been guilty of it. A lot of people have been guilty of it, saying to Smalls, bring the World of Outlaws, bring the World of Outlaws. And so he is.
And he did.
So now.
And they've stuck their neck out. Support it. It's your club.
Yep.
Do the right thing. So,
and this is not a promoter. So. This is not an outside promoter coming in and putting this on.
No.
This is the Nodak Speedway. This is Justin Medler and the board of directors.
Let's break that down. Sometimes a promoter does come in and Nodak will prep the track for an X amount of dollar. This case here, Nodak has taken on the purse. So they've taken on all the risk. So, yeah, this I understand it's an $85,000 night. So that's the $4,000 ticket number. So, or 2,000, whatever, 2,000 ticket number. Whatever.
Got the grandstand to hold them comfortably, beautifully.
Yeah. Again, the weather. I don't think the weather could be nicer.
And I don't know how, as a society, how do we stop I ain't gonna go tonight. You know, I want to go, but man, it's $40. I don't think I'm gonna go. But we'll turn around and go spend $40 on junk food at the Taco Bell
convenience
Thank
store.
You. Thought you were coming at me again.
No, at Taco Bell, whatever. You know,
later. Yeah, good point. I mean, yeah.
Well, North Dakota State Fair. You're going to pay, what is it, $20 just to get in the gate?
Yeah.
To go to the grandstand to see Jelly Roll, another $70 to see him, you know.
And when you break that down, it's actually a bargain because you're not driving 400 miles to a concert. So same scenario. Absolutely great parallel to me. You're going to be able to see if the three of us go, we're going to go for $120. We're going to blow another $80 on food and shirts, as you guys say, and we drove 4 miles to see it. What a bargain.
Brendan Grover feels targeted. Why do you feel targeted? Because I ignored your phone call? I'm on the Dirt Weekly, bro.
Well, he figured that out. He texted on the side. So, yeah.
I'm eager to do these picks.
You're eager to do the picks?
I'm eager to do the picks.
Grover probably got some inside moves.
Now we're not muted anymore.
Now we're not muted, okay. All right.
Oh, the Taco Bell comment.
If the shoe
Chubbs.
If the shoe fits.
I probably had too much Taco Bell in my life, too.
Yeah. I'm glad the stable's high.
So the picks, the Hot Sauce Fantasy, let's roll this.
Who's the players?
We didn't change up what night we went live. Just this one time. We've been Wednesdays. We've been doing good on Wednesdays.
Yeah.
Just this one time I had some work stuff that...
It was this or nothing, so we took this.
Don't poke the bear. He's a donkey on the edge as it is.
He's over the claim. Oh, dang, friend. It's been a while.
Okay. Got that loaded up. Only thing that I don't have on here, I'll have to fix that. We're going to cut right there. Okay. So final standings for the regular season.
Okay, we are fantasy teaming.
Craig, with 2781, you are the hot sauce fantasy champion for the regular season.
You get the gold chain.
With a 200 and a lot, 78-point lead over Jorn.
I knew it was all at 270. I'm raw on my second because second, third, and fourth was about a 35-point run?
Yeah, I mean, 25-13 to 24-90 to 24-88. I mean, we were all tight.
2,500 points, and we're less than 1/3% apart.
So the old commish, he's down riding bulls at PBR in a bar or whatever, mechanical bull or eating hot dogs or whatever. So basically, to give Jorn and I a chance, I'm not even going to include Smalls. If we pick the late model winner, we get 300 points to beat you.
Oh, has it changed from 50 to 300?
So I just did.
Okay.
So you have to pick it right.
It has to be the winner.
Okay. Yeah.
The feature winner.
And Craig picks last.
So this Bobby Pierce
means I pick in the middle.
He's the number one pick, Bobby Pierce. He's the king.
Do you want to like?
He's one of the most features.
Let's call Smalls gets Bobby Pierce.
Just give him Bobby.
Obvious.
Let's handicap us a little bit. I mean, the obvious is Bobby Pierce.
Yeah.
Okay.
After that, it's
kind of a crapshoot
fight. About like this.
The obvious. So like right now in Hot Sauce Fantasy, you would be Bobby Pierce because you have a dominating lead. You're kind of the shoe or whatever you'd call it.
Bobby's one of the most features. Yeah. But after that, it's this is going to get fun.
I just made them rules up. So like. Well, yeah. The commish will listen tomorrow, and
he may or may not agree, but he may. And Pierce is out. Well, Pierce is. Are we letting Smallsy have him?
No. Well, by default, we can give him to Smalls, but we ain't getting Smalls 300 points. He didn't show up.
Well, I just wanted clarification. This could get interesting.
And I trust the commissioner. He's been straight.
Yeah. See, he said either Ruby in the 23 car, and that mattered because that got me a second.
It did. Rubies.
Right, rubies.
He's been straight with you.
It's all in how you pick. I mean, it's kind of like the chess game of racing. You got to know when to be wide on the top.
So you look at this, and then we go with... I'm pulling up a little bit more, show production right in the middle of the show again. Just a sec here.
It's kind of like freezing up. Got the bends.
But with racing on any given night, right?
Right.
So, I mean, isn't it given that Pierce is winning?
Oh, no.
No. I'm certainly the favorite. You're not winning much money in Vegas if you pick Pierce.
Yeah, that's what... So we talked about trying to find some odds, maybe. There's always some betting odds. It's called Dirt Draft or whatever. There's always some betting odds out there that maybe would, like if we picked Bobby Pierce, you'd only be a 50 to 1 odds or whatever. But if you pick somebody like Ryan Gustin, you'd be 250 to 1 or whatever, So the commission and I did discuss that. I just set the number at an even 300, and because that'll put
it's a game changer for everyone. Maybe not Smallsy, but he's not here. He might not limp over the top there. What is it? 81?
No, 88. He'll be over him.
Oh, okay.
He'll beat Craig by 6 points.
6. Okay.
But my guy's still going to get points too.
No,
it's winner take all.
Oh. Yeah. One in the hand's worth all of them in the bush. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
the original format, Craig, was 50 points.
The original format was 50. And you know what? Even if Jorn or I win, you'll probably go home with the hot sauce trophy.
Yeah.
We're just gonna have fun.
We're
just
fun.
For the
we're
sake
not
of
mean.
For the better of the show.
Yeah. Unless I'm leading. Screw that green white checkered. I'm that age. I can make some adjustments on my own. Right. Huh. Are we going to give us some names? Or
I'm working on it here. It's a slow process here.
So,
okay.
Brandon's got the number one pick then. So we're giving Pierce to Smalls.
Is that what we're doing? I need to zoom this in.
Pierce isn't available to us three is the message.
So this is super hard
we're
to
live,
read.
so.
But
Are you telling me we can't text Smalls and say, give us a name?
I guess if you wanted to.
Well, it's going to be funner if you don't have Pierce in here, so I think.
We'll just the number one pick is Bobby Pierce, so we'll just put Pierce down for Smalls.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
For the sake of entertainment.
Yeah,
Because
so
it's going to get entertaining from here on out.
So Smalls is Bobby Pierce. You're going to have to get your phones out. I got to figure out how to zoom this up, but I haven't figured out how to zoom it up yet.
Well, I've got two names in mind, and I get to pick twice, or a second, or whatever.
You get to pick third.
But I still have two names in mind.
So yeah, and you and I are going to fight over the same name.
So Brandon is on the clock.
So I'm going to get the third one then. So that's all right.
See, it's between Hoffman and Gustin. But if B-Shep shows up, but we don't know if he's going to be here or not.
All right.
Yeah.
Can I?
That's what's going to make it interesting.
I don't think he is.
Bishop?
Yeah.
Why?
Steven and Sladen said he wasn't.
Oh, okay. Well, then
Insider trading!
Again.
Jesus Christ!
Again!
Isaac, throw something at us here. Because Steven and Sladen said so. Oh, my God.
Hey, I'm being fair with you guys.
Well, sort of. Just in time.
Sort of.
Just in time.
I mean, if you'd have picked him, I'd been like, that's...
Oh, my God. I was better at this last year. God dang, Craig's out doing a little hunting and scouting here.
I can't zoom it in. I don't
Just
know
read them off. Read off the top 5, 6, 7, 8, because that's what we're going to pick.
So here's what you got. So Bobby Pierce has 5 wins. He's the points leader. He has 13 top 5s, 16 top 10s. Okay? He has a 102-point lead over Nick Hoffman. Nick Hoffman has 1 win, 7 top 5s, 15 top 10s. This is out of 18 features.
Okay.
Ryan Gustin, he's third in points with 2 wins, 7 top 5s, 12 top 10s. Then you got Drake Troutman, who's leading the Rookie of the Year standings. He's the number 22. 1 win.
He's at 4th, huh?
6 top 5s.
He does have a win?
He does have a win. Then Tim McCready's been around for a while.
Oh.
He's driving the Briggs machine, I believe.
Fully worthy of winning.
Yep.
If Donnie were to run, can he run with these guys?
Yes.
He has played with them, but whenever we see him in a Wissota power plant, which is a 360-inch motor. These here are big boys. Let's talk about motors in these things a little bit. They're called wide bore blocks. They're based on a small block Chevy, but they're a tick longer. So and so like a 400 bore in our world, a small block 400 bore is a 4 1/8 inch bore, 4.125, and you can bore them out. And a 60 over is a 4.185. Okay, well these things here they start at 4.250, and they can bore them out to probably 300 or something. So they get really big bore pistons in them. So they'll call them 440 wide bore motors. I seen Bobby Pierce had one for sale. I saw it on Facebook, 480 cubic inch. He said I use it at Eldora where you need the power. But anyway, a 480 inch small block Chevy. And like I say, it's a little bit longer, but it kind of looks all right. But it's a little bit longer, so they get bigger bores in the cylinders. So. They, for the most part, all use a 3/875 stroke crank, which is a 7/8 stroker is what we call them. So, yeah, so it'd be on a regular 400 type block, it would be our 415 cubic inch motors of our open rage crazy Mullins motor era. We would say we have a 415 in. It'd be that same crank, but on a much bigger bore, getting them up into the 440, 480 cubic inch zone. Still that stroke, but a lot more bore. So,
and they got a lot of rubber.
And they got all kinds of tire, and they got all kinds of, for the most part, they're usually trying to bleed the power down. They usually got restrictor plates on them. But Smalls and the crew is going to make sure restrictors are for other places, because we race on the firewall here.
Yeah.
So, all right. Smalls has been working relentlessly.
But even at that, you're going to have a tough time. Even on a heavy hammer down track, these things are so wide, or they're so powerful. They'll spin their tires on a tacky track.
Yeah, they're very powerful.
They're very powerful.
It's still one carburetor deal. They're not injected like a Sprint, but they got to be in the 900 horse area. I know Steven had a aluminum Ford. I don't remember the cubic inch of it, but that thing. he invited me down before he pulled it out because it idles that much more different than anything I've ever been around. I've been around kind of a fair amount of stuff. You think you're at the airport. I mean, it's crazy noise. So, and that's what these top guys will be. So, so your question, Donnie would have to have, I would imagine he has more than one late model. I believe he has a Wasota type late model, and he probably has a UMP type late model. This would be more UMP world. So,
I don't believe Donnie has a late model to race with these guys.
He just has a Wasota type one.
Well, he himself.
I see.
But I think he would have access to.
Well, him and Bishop are tight, so.
Yeah, the Bishop drove one of Donnie's cars at the Dome. At the Dome one year.
Yeah. So he would have access to it. Right.
They were talking on social media about the twins, Amelia, Layla, that they had to convert the cars this last week from the Wasota late model stuff to race this 4-night stretch.
So they have a program that they're.
Yep.
So Aaron Turnbull's cars that he raced at the Sites Memorials and did very, very well with them, that car couldn't run with this group?
Not on paper. It just had to have too small of a motor. What Aaron raced was a Wasota-based late model, 362 cubic inch rule.
Yep.
So
then those Grand Forks boys don't really stand a chance in.
No. Well, I mean, that's the concern.
Yeah.
I mean, it's tackied up. I mean, it's just going to magnify it. So, and plus they're just good. So, and taking nothing away. We got good North Dakota guys, but these guys race with each other.
But we're kind of talking about equipment, comparisons.
Yeah. There's going to be roughly, I don't know, 80 inches more of motor, 75, 80 inches. That'll measure up as the night goes on.
How about the old Wayne Schumacher, Darrell Bauer 454 motors? How would they compete with those boys?
Yeah, I mean, we certainly had a lot of fun with that stuff. It wouldn't even be close. It wouldn't even be close. And I love big blocks, but what this motor represents is the lightweight package of a small block Chevy with just a little bit, stretched it out so that they got big block bore. That's what it is. A big block bore is a 4 1/4 inch bore, and that's where these start at. So. Like I said, I don't know.
But you said the small block, it's the same Chevy small block?
It's very much like but it's a little bit longer because the bores get bigger.
But if the bore's so big, then there can't be a whole lot. They worry, if you bore it too much, you worry about them overheating because you don't have a whole lot of water jackets.
So the block's all built around that, hence it's longer so that it can have that thickness in the sleeves yet and stuff like that. Actually, it takes a whole different crank. The crank is longer too, so they're one-off motors. They're their own thing, but you have them.
You're a motor Einstein.
Yeah, well, that might be long, but they call them wide bore blocks, so they're cool looking. They're used, needing overhauled. They're like $50K, so. Yeah, so when we talked about racing, we were worried about tires. Well, now we're back to motors.
So based off the entry list at I-94 down to Fergus Falls, the top 14 in points were registered at Fergus Falls.
Okay.
I don't know if that means anything, if that means they're guaranteed to come up here. And then the 15th car was Bowen Larson, Brent Larson. He's actually 16th in points, so call it the top 15. Mm-hmm. Max Blair, the 15th place car, was not there registered. He was actually, I watched him race the other night. He was down doing some other tour. But so 15 cars. I think they were hoping for 17 to come up, but I think 15.
That's been the talk. So
15 is where they're at. So Tim McCready, Brian Shirley, those are
Shirley's
names.
won a fair amount of races. So
Cody Overton, Dennis Erb Jr. That's a name that's been around for quite a while.
Yeah, Erb's been around. Yeah.
Ethan Dotson, he's a
that's
rookie.
That's our modified guy.
That's our modified guy. He's picked up a win this year in 18 events. Ashton Winger, Tanner English, Dustin Sorensen is a local Minnesota kid that's running the whole tour. Tristan Chamberlain. Jake Tim is Winona, Minnesota. He's running the whole tour.
Bob's his dad, so back in the Wasota days of the 90s. Mm-hmm.
And then Brent Larson.
Yeah, Brent's been around a long time.
He's running the whole tour.
He's Minnesota.
Well, they're not running the whole tour. Some of them only run 11 nights, 12 nights, stuff like that. But
stuff around home, which would be us.
Yeah,
Brent, he's a Minnesota guy, so maybe Wisconsin, but he's close.
Terry Newhouse, Wayne Martinezson, any of those names on there?
See, since we handicapped this deal, I'm going to go all the way back. Ethan Dotson's going to use some knowledge that he learned up here on the tour, and I think him as a rookie is going to stand out at Nodak. I'm going to go Ethan Dotson. I'm going to go way out on a limb. What I want to have happen is if he does win, and we look at the odds, and we see the odds are like 500 to 1 or 1,000 to 1, you add them 1,000 points, I demolish you guys.
Oh, well, that's an interesting pitch then. Well,
no matter what, I want to just go right above you.
Yeah. Not when it comes time to handing out the necklace, but just in airtime.
Yes.
All right. I'm in. Yeah.
But wouldn't it be cool if one of those girls won?
It'd be phenomenal.
Yeah, it'd be.
Are they going to have the equipment?
Earth stopping. I think they'll have the equipment. I don't know if they have the experience.
I think they're going to be. They'll have the equipment.
No.
And
I'm not beating on them. I'm just saying. It's just.
Who'd you pick?
These guys don't goof
Ethan
around.
Dotson.
Okay.
The modified
So
guy.
Pierce, Dotson.
And I could have went with.
I'm torn. But Hoffman ain't going to give me no style points based on your rookie pick.
See, I'm going for style points.
Yeah, you are. All of them. So I'm torn between Hoffman and Gustin. Gustin, for me, my first Harris modified I got was the first USMTS modified feature he won in that car. Still has a sticker on the side of it, specially built for Ryan Gustin. So I have that connection. And I think that Ryan is going to be able to rock and roll on some wet. Even though Nick Hoffman is the obvious choice, I'm going to go with Ryan Gustin.
Good, because I typed it in already.
You could tell. Right. Not so much style points, but...
So who do you have over there giving you the inside info and picking?
Yeah.
We want to know.
Look at the guilty laugh rolling off. Those two bozos didn't pick the easy one.
I got to give my credit, because I know none of this stuff.
To Steven and Sladen.
Well, not even going to Steven. It's the Slade man. We're going with Nick Hoffman.
Yeah, right.
The number one pick by Sladen.
Yeah.
Nick Hoffman.
Well, at least he had number 2 was Ryan. He put Brian Shirley up there. Steven's helping him, so.
Oh, look at that. Yeah.
Yeah, I know Nick was.
New list for Nodak. Did you get one earlier with Pierce on it or what?
Yeah.
All right, since you want to know.
Inside trading here, Hot Sauce. Make note.
Let's see.
This is phenomenal.
Hey, we've been schnookered.
So here, this one is directly from Steven. He must be buddies with Brandon Shepard. We were originally planning to head up north this week, but a few things popped up, and we feel like our best bet is to stay close to home.
Oh.
We're looking forward to putting together some solid runs around home and getting the car where it needs to be. So I could have laid up and not told you guys that, and then you had a Brandon Shepard.
Yeah. See, that would have been a good choice because of the twins.
Yep.
See, yeah.
So I'm feeling pretty good about getting Sladen's number one pick.
Yeah.
See, I should have gobbled him up, but that's the easy layup.
Sladen.
Yeah, you're shooting 4-pointers from the 3-pointer line, half court.
I'm shooting half court shots here.
4-pointers from half court.
And you know, Trevor was texting me all day too. The old high side Haas. He was texting me all day too. Here's the order. If this one's picked, you get this one. If this one. You know what? I didn't even pick one on the list that he sent me because that's how I roll.
Again, inside trader, I had nothing.
This is TRD. This is Brandon's TRD.
Hey, I got to park my stuff here. I'm getting a call from the store. We're having some refrigeration troubles.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh.
Thanks, guys.
Okay. Well, yeah. Well, Dan, Craig, I hope you get that fixed. I've been giving you some troubles, so I'm a pretty good cheerleader. I kind of know how it's supposed to work, but I'm not a hands-on guy, but yeah.
So just to prove that I put him in there, you see him at the bottom. Late model, Jordan, Ryan Gustin, Ethan Dotson. We gave Smalls Bobby Pierce because he finished last, and Nick Hoffman for Craig.
Yeah.
I'm the only one that went out of the line of the top 3, but
yeah.
Come on, Ethan, we're going to do this.
Not impossible. He's got to win, so I know Ryan's wins are few and far between also, but again, a little bit of connection there, so my Harris mod.
Him leaving might be a good time just to end this, wrap this up.
Well, it might be. Yeah. Again, life calls.
Yeah.
Craig has to make sure our marketplace is working correctly at all times, and it's not at this moment. So,
oh, Fluffy, Yee Haas has his new Yee Haas.
Yes.
Do you got to say it a certain way or what?
Yeehaw. Yeah, he was down in Indian Dunes or something. He thought he was too far from home today, according to his snaps.
Oh. Yeah, so this weekend, Williston Basin Speedway 2 nights.
Yep. 6
Friday,
o'clock both nights. Fix your darn TV deal.
Yep. 5 o'clock or 5 Friday night, Dakota Speedway.
They'd be
Saturday
7 o'clock.
night, Dickinson, Southwest Speedway.
I think they're 6 o'clock their time.
7 Central, 6 their time.
Mm-hmm.
And then Nodak Speedway, 6 o'clock. You're going to want to be there for the ribbon cutting ceremony, be there for the cookout from 2 to 4, get your advance tickets.
Yeah, get your advance tickets so you're not waiting in line so long. So that's what I want to do. I'm going to go find Robbie. So, yes. Again, this is a special event. The guys have worked hard to put it together. Be a part of the solution.
Yep.
Not the problem. Okay.
Okay.
See y'all in the grandstand.
Yeah, can't wait to hear Jordan and I. That's what they're going for.
My dad, Tina, will be there. My dad's excited to see him, too. So, he's a sprint car guy. That's us. Okay. Water your garden. Make the corn big. We're going to do this again next week? Going to try? Ooh.
We're going to attempt it.
We're going to attempt. Because we are in Underwood on Thursday.
We're in it. So next week will have to be Wednesday.
Yeah.
Oh, we're going to attempt.
No promises, but you will post if we don't.
I will make sure and post if we don't.
Okay. We're going to try, guys.
Next Wednesday at 7 o'clock. We're going to shoot for Wednesday. Leading into 8 straight days of racing after that, we might have to pull the pin on that one.
Yeah.
We'll see.
We're
shooting for Wednesday, 7 o'clock.
See you there, Dan.
See ya.